Hello. I am hoping that my chat box here actually updates with messages when they come through, because I've managed to fix my stream accounts. Although I don't really know if that's dynamically updated. I did have to refresh it a couple times in Stream Elements, but we'll see how it goes. If anyone wants to leave a message in the chat, then they can help me test it out. That would be great. But otherwise, we'll just have a nice, pretty dark black box as we go along. But yeah, I am here live today because I thought it would be really fun. We're coming up to Christmas, everyone's having some more time off. I had a really nice day today, just woke up pretty early for me. I've been having a kind of insomnia moment, so being able to wake up before like 10 AM felt really achieved today. And then I had a shower, had some of my psoriasis gunk on, so I've been quite scaly recently and it's very like in the cold weather, it's not very nice. So I put some of my prescription gunk on, and then I went and did a workout in my home gym, which is so luxurious. Like, I've done a few bits and bobs in my home gym. I've had it set up for like 3 weeks or something, and I've not been able to do a real intense workout on it, but I managed to do like some odd sets of things. But today I worked up and I built up to some heavier stuff, and it was kind of scary because I actually thought that my squat rack, my power rack, whatever, came with spotter arms. That's what they're called, spotter arms. But it turns out that what I thought was spotter arms in the picture are actually just the structure. Like, you have the tall like poles that hold up the weight, and then you have the connecty bits at the top, which has a pull-up bar as well, and then you have the connecty bits at the bottom, which I thought were spotter arms, but they are fixed in place. So I've ordered spotter arms today to be safe. I did have J-hooks, it came with J-hooks, so I couldn't exactly go to the heaviest of heavy that I ever would lift, but we're doing safety here. But I had a really good workout, and then I had a good stretch, and putting my stretch mats over the padded flooring I got to protect my flooring, it has just felt like a real gym. But there was no one I had to wait for. I didn't have to ask anyone how many sets they had left. I didn't ask anyone. I was using that. It's all mine. Like, my housemate wasn't even in, so I didn't even have to worry about obstructing them for anything to use the balcony. Did have to open the balcony to avoid like dying of heat stroke, because the one thing that proper gyms do have that my flat does not is air conditioning. But it was great anyway, and I just did a workout and I did my stretch mats, and it felt very comfy at the end. And then I had a nice early meal and watched the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special while I ate, the proper one, not the one where they came back years later and they were like, what's happened to them now? And now I'm here. I'm gonna work and I'm gonna get some stuff done. And I had a few things I was contemplating I was going to do while I streamed, but I decided... What's going on? Between us? I'm going to mute that while it's on adverts. I keep getting adverts and forgetting that it's annoying. I will get Amazon, I will get Spotify Premium one day. And then when that day is finally over, it will be okay. But I had a few things I wanted to do while I was streaming, but I decided that the one I'm going to go with is my Amazon KDP photo books. And now we can get the music back. And basically the idea of using Amazon KDP is most people just publish normal books. Actually, that's not true. I would imagine most people publish these things called low content books, which is like notebooks or little diary journal type things, or checklist to-do list type notebooks. And the idea of Amazon KDP is you can self-publish them, and you don't need to get approved. You don't need to meet up with someone and say, yes, I would like this many copies, and then if we sell them I get this percentage. You just put your book on it, and if Amazon approves it, then they will print it and ship it anytime someone makes an order, which is why it's called drop shipping. You don't ever actually interact with the product yourself. Obviously you get tester prints, but if you don't want to put any money up front into creating a book, then drop shipping is a good option, and Amazon KDP is how a lot of people drop ship. It's how I do it. I have 3 photo books on my Amazon KDP right now. I've only sold one of them. I think it's a bit of a cliche that like landscapey tourist books sell for coffee table books and, you know, dentist waiting rooms and the like, but it's true. People search locations for landscape photography for tourism stuff. So I have got a photographic tour of Dumfries and Galloway available on my Amazon KDP, which is my most popular one. I've sold a few copies of it. And then I also have a fishy photo book, which I'm not really surprised hasn't sold a lot. I think it's got a lot of God, I'm not even tired. I wasn't tired before this. I feel like it's just the cozy vibes of my streaming setup is like my brain associates it with falling asleep because it's how I make the room before I go to bed. So it's like nice wind down ambient mode. Not every single light in here, but quite a lot of them. But yeah, a fish photo book. It's got a lot of competition, like anything to do with stock or like just viewing things. Animals are really popular online, but that means there's a lot of them online, so I'm not surprised if I'm not the most popular fish photo book person. And then I recently published one which is Land Adventure Sports. I will get a link to it because it literally just got approved today. Where did the link go? Let me get my link. Imagine if I just sold one just now. Let me actually share my screen here so you can see what it looks like. So you go into Amazon KDP. This is the bookshelf section where you can add a new book, make a new book. Oh god. And here's a list of all the books I have available. See, they've got live, and you'll have draft, in review, pending. You can make changes, but the changes also have to be approved, so if they don't approve the change, then I imagine they'll just keep the previous version online, which I've never not had a change approved, so I wouldn't know for sure. View on Amazon, and you can have it on every Amazon marketplace, but when you upload it, you choose a primary marketplace to determine the price, and then they'll just change it to other currencies. So this one just got published the other day. Has it got the look inside preview yet? No, it takes about 3 days of it being available online for it to start turning up in search results on Amazon. So, and then obviously like search engines like Google process it in their own time. They have no control over that for SEO purposes. But once it's published, you can link it to people. I don't know if mine's available for general search right now, but I'll just post a link in the chat. And you know, posting a link in my own chat. Land Adventure Sports photo book. Let's see if this actually publishes in my buffer. Doesn't seem so. Gonna have to work on that widget. It's a learning process. It's always a learning process. No, I remember I put a delay on it as well, but is the delay gonna work? I don't think so. But yeah, so here I have it. If you want to get it, land-based adventure sports photo book, Dib Digital. Let's actually see. Let's see if we can find it. My results will probably be a bit skewed because I'm already on this page. It might take it from my search history. But let's do land adventure sports. Look, there, I'm the first result. What if I just do adventure sports? Because I imagine a lot of people aren't going to be searching land, but I also have one for water sports that I'm going to make today, so we'll see. So adventure sports. Wait, adventure sports in book. Didn't even think photo book. Because there's obviously so many normal books actually about being a book that are written content books. If you don't put in photo book, you're probably not going to get it. But look, it's actually the first result if you put in adventure sports photo book. So that's actually quite good for me. And that's on the featured. Might be because it was most recently published, but I think that's quite good. Mountain bike photo book. I'd probably say that's my closest competitor. Hasn't got any reviews on it. Now, is that because people didn't care enough to write a review, which is often the case with a lot of people, or is it because no one's bought it? Hard to know. But whenever you're trying to create a passive income product, you do want to get something that has some demand but also has very little competition, so you don't need to focus too heavily on marketing it, and you want it to be able to be found through organic search means as the product page alone. But this is new, not sold yet. Let me see if I can show you some statistics from this one, Dumfries and Galloway photo book. So the description I wrote for a photographic tour of Dumfries and Galloway photo book is a photo book containing over 100 unique images taken across Dumfries and Galloway, Scotland during the winter of 2021. Locations include, and then I listed off all the locations, just a few of them is going to be Ockermode Beach, Luce Bay, and then St John's Castle, Stranraer, Glenluce Village over the River Luce. And a really cool one was the, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, the Ken Hawley Standing Stones in Newton Stewart. And then I think this is really important for a photo book specifically, is you want to have a cover that shows examples of the images inside. You want to have a couple of your best ones. I don't think you really need to be precious about protecting the best ones for like behind the paywall, because you want to entice people to buy a photo book. It's already a thing that people don't generally collect unless they're really into photography or really into the subject matter specifically. So just like show what's unique about it. I love that I have some abstract like painting shots on there. I always try and incorporate my more abstract shots because, especially in the landscape, I'm not really a big landscape photographer. I love having people as physical subject matter, so that's what I try and include. But I've had a fair few sales with this one. None of my photo books have had an enormous amount of sales, but I don't promote them very often because it is passive income. That's the idea. And just every now and again I get a few extra quid that I wasn't expecting in my business account. You know, passive income is all about getting the small bits incrementally over time, and it will build up and compound interest and all that when you invest it. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee now because it's kind of warm in here because I have my I have my space heater on for ages. And I really dried out the room. No coffee on my own. Oh, that is tasty though. Right, so if we look at the reports tab, you'll see that this is just from the last 30 days. Haven't sold a book in the last 30 days. I did sell one like just over a month ago, so that has just come off. But normally this will fill up with stuff like if you've got multiple books that have made a sale, it'll tell you the ones that have earned the most. I believe that's in terms of revenue, not in terms of profit. So it depends how high you set your prices compared to the printing costs, because that's the actual amount you get for your royalty. I'm not sure the percentage Amazon KDP take of printed books. I imagine that they take out their royalty before they even consider, like, their payment's probably included in the printing price, let's be fair. Like, they'll have their actual printing price and then they might just put a bit of margin in there for themselves, and then we get our difference in it. So then top royalty sources, it could be coming like from one country or another. I like the idea that photo books are quite expansive in terms of, like, you don't need to be able to speak the language to be able to appreciate the content, which is great, but also your descriptions are going to be in their native language, and Amazon will probably translate a few of them, but how much effort is it going to put into making those accurate? Top marketplaces, yep, same information there. Now let's see, if I go into the royalties estimator, then I believe I can set this to lifetime. So like I said, not sold a lot of photo books at all. Sold free in the first month of having it, so I feel like you get like the publication buzz, and then sold a couple more around Christmas time. I'm noticing that it's towards the tail end of the year, early end of the year, like the summertime's kind of dead for some reason. I imagine it's because everyone's out spending their money on activities, and then people want to actually buy things when it's colder and they don't want to go out so much. So you can see, just made that much money from my touring photo book. But we've got the Land Adventure Sports photo book here, and I want to create the What's Adventure Sports version. Why am I suddenly choking up today? Ugh, I think I did make the room too dry. So, one thing I will caution against when making a photo book is one problem that I came up against like multiple times. I've made 3 of them so far, and I've had this issue every single time, is you can look up the dimensions for an Amazon photo book, and it will tell you the dimensions of the book when it is printed. And you think that's the size you want to make the dimensions of your file. And with a normal book, it is, because in a normal book you have word content and you want it within the margin, and you're not going to worry about it bleeding over the sides and where it's going to get chopped off, because it's just going to be blank empty space. With a photo book, typically you want to fill the frame. Okay? No. Typically you want to fill the frame, but then if your file doesn't completely bleed over the edge of the dimensions of the book, where it will then get chopped off, then they will reject it because they believe that you're going to have just random blank space on the page that wasn't there intentionally. Didn't have as much of an issue with this with my first photo book, which I actually have a physical copy of it. I'll get the physical copy, one moment. Oh, I've ripped out my headphone cable. One moment, I can't hear the music. Oh, I get the vibes about the music. So, here I have the physical copy of A Photographic Tour of Dumfries and Galloway. I think it's a really good book. I actually really like it. I should probably just put it in front of my face because that's where it's in focus right now and where it's lit. And you can see that it's a landscape book because it's landscape photography. Most of it is a landscape image. And I thought it'd be really cool. I've done a little intro page, which is the following images are photographs I took during my first trip to Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland. This journey took place in December 2021 as we were visiting my boyfriend's family for Christmas, which I think is why I get more sales at Christmas too, because people are sitting in Christmas presents and the word Christmas is in there.
I promise I'll keep this debrief short.
I just took
I just had my date with the
a portion of the description.
So cute.
To make this.
This
This is my first time meeting this part of his family, and I was quite nervous, but I had a wonderful time. Special thanks to my boyfriend, Matthew Stoker Newton, for being genuinely wonderful, and his mother, Michelle Newton, for eagerly driving us around to all these beautiful spots despite the freezing weather. And then I put my name. God, imagine if we break up, that'd be awkward. But yeah, I thought it'd be really cool, and put like collages. There you go, you can see. Like little mix and matches. You can actually see in the very first page where I amended it, because when I realized that I didn't account for the bleed of the book and you need to make the file bigger than the actual printed dimensions, all my little collages were misaligned. Some of them weren't centered. You can see a little bit in the spine that it doesn't print there, but that's like expected, so that's fine. But just underneath the bottom, you can see this blue padding I did. That was when I just gave up, and I was like, I don't know how far to make this. Like, because with a photo, the whole point of composition is you want to have certain places in the shot align with, like, the rule of thirds, for example, or the golden ratio. If you're a photographer, you'll know these terms, but if you Google it, you'll get really simple results. But, like, basically, you want certain spots to be in the most appealing place where the eye line will naturally go to. If you make the photo too big within the page, then it'll get sliced off and you might mess up with your composition. But if you make it too small, then they'll reject it for having empty space. So I fixed that by just getting some random blue that I picked from a spot of the image and putting a little background on there. And then let's see here. This one's quite nice. I actually love these shots because I got 3 different shots of the waves for the same area for like different levels of water, and I pieced them all together. I thought that was quite cool. It was quite awkward because when I got this printed, I'm gonna call her the mother-in-law. We're not married, but you know, the mother-in-law. She was like, "Oh, they've done XYZ. They've messed up this," and I'm like, "No, that was a design choice. Thank you." I didn't tell her that. Hopefully, she doesn't notice now because that'd be awkward. But you know, she meant well. She was lovely about it. And like you can see, I've got loads of colours like in the background here, and these like spaced kind of weirdly because originally they were just like a third of the page each, but then I couldn't get the aspect ratio correct to match the dimensions of the book. And I did do sort of custom dimensions of the book because I thought it would be like best at the time. Let me find another example of what I'm talking about. Let's see. So yeah, this page specifically with like all the different, that's the wrong way, all the different examples of this same location with different light painting shots, I had to find creative ways to fit semi-duplicates in together without filling up the whole page, so I did like a big collage. But when it made me resize the file for the book itself, it meant that all the positioning of these carefully made collages got messed up. So in the future, for all my other photo books that I've done and what I'm making, I am going to just do this thing where you fill the whole page with a single picture. And you know, it gives the customer a bigger image. Like, they're buying a photo, but they want images to look at. Like, why are they squinting? If they want a tiny picture, they can just look on their phone. If they want to, like, experience art in a different format or whatever, then they get the book. And I realize now that part of the reason I was doing that is so, like, I could put landscape images in a portrait book, but then pure genius I am, you can just rotate the book like that if you want to look at it in landscape. So that's something I accounted for in future book files, but this is kind of unique. I like this. This is my first attempt. I still genuinely think it's a really good thing. Here we go. Here's an example of where the bleed gets cut off. You can see, like, these images here. God, why can't I hold it up? Wait. God, it's so horrible to do this like this way. But this page. You can see that these light trails get cut off. And that's just for this copy. You don't know if that's going to happen for a different copy of the book. Maybe they chop it off in a different way, because I know that I actually accounted for the size of the images. And this wasn't the worst page ever. I didn't, like, this is an abstract page, so it's not, like, completely ruined it, but it annoyed me a bit. So make sure that you account for your bleed and your cropping and everything like that. I feel like I've done my word of warning enough, but genuinely, I really love this book. Like, look at that. That is a good picture. I'm quite proud of that. I have got 3 copies of these, so if anyone wants to buy one from me directly, then I can flog them to you. Like, just get it drop shipped anyway. I don't know. Maybe if you want a physical copy, then I'll give it to you for slightly lower than the drop shipped price, but then we'll need to do shipping anyway. It's all a bit redundant. Just buy the book on Amazon, honestly. I'll keep these for little, like, stands I do, you know, at networking events or whatever. But I learned my lesson with trying to be fancy and putting collages in, and with trying to do custom dimensions of the book. I would love to say just stick to the recommended dimensions, but if you look up Amazon's recommended dimensions, it doesn't give you a comprehensive list of them, and then it doesn't take into account for the bleed. So I have started going for the 8 by 11 inches book dimension, I think, and it's still width, so, you know, like, it's a landscape book still, so the 11 is going to be this dimension, and this is going to be the 8 for my other books. I haven't got physical copies of those right now. But as I have learned through trial and error and having to resize the 2 other books I have made, I just put on a margin of 0.5 inches on each side, which kind of skews up the aspect ratio a little bit, but I do that. That's what I do. When they give you, if you get rejected, then Amazon will send you emails with notes on how to get approved, and it will literally tell you how much margin you need to add for your bleed if it does get rejected. So I think at one point it was like add 1.28 something inches, and then on the other one it was like add 0.5 inches. So I just added 5 inches to both of them. Not 5 inches, I added half an inch to both of them. And then that's just how I do it now. So if it gets cropped in that way, but the image is still aesthetically pleasing at that size. So that's what I'm going to do for the next one. Let's see. Am I showing my screen? I am not showing my screen. How about I share my screen? That would be wise. So here's a file for the photo book I just made. You can see this one's going to be a portrait image, but it's going to be turned over in the book, because you can just rotate the book like a genius. And I don't have Canva Pro. So this is actually a really good tutorial for people who don't want to buy Canva outright. Given my job, I can justify buying Canva Pro, but I don't want to make an expense that I don't think I'm necessarily going to use every day, and I get by just fine with regular Canva for the vast majority of my needs. And I have an outside of this business job where they actually have Canva Pro. So one really good thing is if you know someone who has Canva Pro, then you can share the file with them and they can open it in their account. And the file doesn't get saved as one of their files. They just can do the project, like how people do Word project or something. And they can export your file and then send it right back to you. And they didn't have to actually own the project. You can just send it over and it's great. So if you have a friend who has Canva Pro, just use that feature. The reason you really need Canva Pro for Photobooks is not to build the book, but it's to export it in a print ready file. So color profiles and color spaces are basically how different devices view color. Like the human eye has a bigger spectrum of color for the most part, assuming you're not colorblind, than most devices. A phone screen, for example, doesn't have as wide a range of color profile as a laptop. I can use my brain. So you will see skin tones on a laptop and then look at it on a phone and maybe they'll look more orange. And then different color profiles are more suitable for digital formats than they are for printed formats. So most screens are some sort of RGB function, like the colors are made up of red, green, blue. But if you have a printed file, like how you would do for a photo book, to make the colors appear the same way as they do on your device in the printed book, because you want colors to be accurate for photography, then you would have to export it in CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and then K. What's K in CMYK? My brain's saying Kelvin, which is like it's a temperature thing, but it's also like a color temperature thing. So let me just check. CMYK. Key is black. Okay, that's fair. I get that. Black is actually made up of a combination of the other colors, but you know, we'll ignore that for now. And where am I? This tab. But yeah, so if you want something to appear the same way as it does on your screen than it does when it's printed, then you need to export in CMYK, which on Canva is restricted to a Pro account feature. You need to remember though, it'll get really confusing later. I had some doubt when I was making my second book, but I worked it out. If you preview it on your screen, which Amazon KDP makes you do, then it will look really grey and desaturated on your laptop when you've actually prepared the file for printing. So don't be disturbed if everything looks really sad and depressing in your preview, because it's going to end up looking great when you actually print it. So watch out for that. Oh, hello, we have a viewer. I hope you're doing well. Maybe if you want to comment something, then we'll see if it actually appears in my chat box, the chat box. But we're talking through how to make photo books in Amazon KDP, if anyone would like to watch. Let's see. So I'm going to make a new file. I am going to go and start from scratch on Canva. Let's create a design. And we're going to do custom size dimensions. Here are my settings saved from the last time I did it. So we have 8.5 by, not 11.5, 6.5. 11.5 is an alternate dimension that people use, but you know, whatever. So 8.5 inches by 6.5 inches instead of 8 by 6, which will be the dimensions of the book itself. We're going to create a new design. And we're going to call this Adventure, I can spell, Adventure Water Sports. Ugh. I'll plug this into charge while we go, it's fine. You don't need to see my face for the most part while we're doing this. One day I'm going to have we lost the light? No, we're not lost the light back there either. One day I'm going to have, what's it called, Govee lights and wall outlet lights all over me, so I don't need to worry about batteries dying, but until then we gotta deal with this sort of stuff. But yeah, so we're going to start from scratch. We are going to call it Adventure Water Sports Photo Book, and then for my own memory we're going to do 8.5 by 6.5 inches. Getting a lot of beeps here. What are the beeps saying? I asked my friend to join me and my other friend for a present swap tomorrow, but they can't come because they're working. Oh well. Tip your servers well, guys, including the bartenders. Let's see. Yeah, that's charging fine. That's whatever. So, I'm going to start off really simply. The content of a photo book doesn't come easily. You have to shoot the photographs, and if it's going to be an interesting book, you need a variety of them. And I think Amazon KDP's page limit is 48 pages, because there's a certain thickness that you have to make the book reach to be able to actually physically bind it together, so you need to have a certain number of pages. Really, I should have padded out the pages on this one. There's a whole bunch of reasons that I went wrong with this one, but I still like it. But what you need to do is, if you have a wrong number of pages, like an odd number of pages, then you have to add a random white page or a random page of your chosen color to be able to fill the book up to get the right printing style. But Amazon will prompt you on that when you do it. But actually putting the content together, once you have all the photos, is a relatively quick process, especially if you're as obsessive about file management as me. So I don't think you can see this part because I haven't set it up to be visible, but I'm going to be waving my mouse around a lot here, and you're going to see my cursor moving, and it's because I'm picking and sorting through my files as I go. So I'm going onto the hard drive that I have plugged in, going into an appropriate file. Now, where I actually got these photographs from is I used to work in an adventure centre. I used to work at a couple actually, but only one of them did water. And I used to work in an adventure centre called the Anderson Centre. They are really cool people there. They do awesome charity work. The charity that they have is called the Lancashire Outdoor Activities Initiative. Lancashire Outdoor Activities Initiative. I remember. They have exclusive access to Lower Rivington Reservoir, and some of the loveliest people I've ever met during work worked there. They were great. I left because of a few reasons. Like, I wanted to live in Manchester and the commute just wasn't feasible was one of them, and there were some other reasons, but you know, they hired me as a self-employed person after I left anyway, and it was all cool. Now, when I did work there, I very purposefully made sure there was a clause in my contract that says I maintain a sub-licensable commercial license to anything I create while under their employment. Now, maybe my employer didn't know what that meant, but it's in the contract, so I am allowed to create products that produce revenue for me in a self-employed capacity with stuff I created while I worked there. And they still use some of my images. It's great. They have a banner photo that I shot that I love. Now, the one thing that I'm really conscious of is technically, because of the terms of the contracts that were signed, you know, without fully showing them, I am allowed to like show people's faces in a commercial capacity, but I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm only going to include images where people aren't recognizable. Like, my rule is if it would be accepted for stock imagery, then I'm comfortable including it in a photo book, because these people didn't get paid for being a model per se. They agreed to be in the photos at the centre because of the terms and conditions they sign when they go to do an activity there, but I'm just not cool doing stuff like that to people who are unaware of it. So if anyone would be recognisable, I'm not putting it in a product, because that's just kind of shady in my opinion. I'm not a rich woman, but I'd like to think I have moral business practices. So I just wanted to cover that before we did anything. Let's see. So I'm going to go through my files in chronological order. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to pick out ones that I think are really cute and would suit the water sports adventure vibe. So here's one from a wet room. The good thing about a photo book is you want as many photos as possible, so you don't have to be as discriminatory as you would with something like you're making a social media post and you need a banner image for it. Now, the aspect ratios are going to get scrunched up a little bit because of the page sizing, but as long as the intent of the subject matter comes through, we can vibe with it. So let's find another one. Okay, so this is an instructor who worked there. He was awesome, but you can't tell who that is. Like, not only is his face not showing, but you can barely even see his hair for a start. So put that here. And also, I actually, this same guy, he was a hand model for me for some stuff while I worked there to like create one of my best-selling stock photos, which was a zombie hand poking out through the ground, which was like actually a box filled with leaves. And like he made it all up in like camo makeup and zombified it and rubbed some dirt all over his hand, and then I handed him a paddle, so obviously it couldn't poke through the leaves, but he was holding it, and it looked really cool. And that's collectively, that gallery is probably one of my best-selling stock photos gallery, and he was so chuffed about that, so I'm quite comfortable thinking he'd be chill with this. So let me just add a bunch of pages before we move on, so I can just dump in this and move on. Let's see. That's enough for now. So let's keep going through, finding some images. Now these were built up, this gallery was built up over the course of like, I don't know, maybe, well, it would have been about 6-7 months, I think. 6-7 months flexibly. This was how long it took me to create the galleries, to pick and choose these photos. I've already done the land sports one, so I'm just skipping through anything to do with land. And luckily I tended to stick to shooting one activity in the morning, then I would try to edit it in the afternoon, and I would repeat that over and over. And then at the end of the month, I would schedule out posts for the next month, and I would do, obviously photos would be included on the more simple posts, but I would also do video, which is my primary thing, and then some graphics I would create for them out of review information. It was just all really good. I like that sort of stuff. And what else we got? Is that one better or is that one better? No, I think that one. This is another one of my best-selling stock photos. I'm pretty confident over the course of my life I'm going to make more money from these photos being sold in various formats, like the Photobook, like stock media, than I am out of what I actually got paid to shoot it originally, which is great because I was poorly paid for that job for what I did. They really, like, they didn't do anything wrong. It was like a whole thing behind why I was there, but the wage was non-negotiable in the sense of why I was there. So it was right after COVID. It was a bit tight times, but I didn't get paid properly for the work I was doing, and they got quite a lot out of me that they could have been charged a hell of a lot more for. But this is why passive income is important for creative types. Also, I'd like to point out that there's a lot of times where as a photographer you will just shoot stuff because you're having fun, because you want to test a concept, and then you have nothing to do with it. Like, what are you going to do with that image? It's not relevant, no one's hired you to do it, they're not asking for it, so how are you going to make it worth your time? Make a digital product, sell it on. Yeah. This is a shot that I find awkward to frame when it's not exactly how I want it. Let's see. Now, sometimes I struggle with what's the better shot and what is the average person going to want to see. And if someone's buying a photo book about water sports, they probably want to see as much of the boat as possible. So instead of doing the shot that I think is a little bit better, we're going to do the shot that I think the customer wants, which is a little bit over-appealing to the market. Don't want to pander to people, but we still want to provide them with stuff that they care about. So here we go, we got some rafted canoes. Honestly, like, if you want to do adventure sports, go to the Anderson Center. It was so fun every time I did something there. Personally, I loved the speedboat. The speedboat was my favorite part. Any opportunity to get on the speedboat, I would jump at it, kicking and screaming. You couldn't get me off the speedboat. It was great. But it's not the easiest place to get to. It's not hard to get to. They do have a bus route. Oh, that's a better shot. That'll survive cropping more. I'm going to go back. Wait. Get rid of that one. And put this one in. Yeah, I remember we had a staff do very shortly after I started working there, and it was my first time paddleboarding. Never paddleboarded before in my life, and one of the instructors, I think was the apprentice instructor at the time, he showed me and another new person how to paddleboard, and I very barely, no one told me for a start, for context, no one told me that we were going to be doing sports on this staff do. I thought we were sitting down and having a drink or something at like one of the picnic tables they had, and I was like dressed not for a night out, but you know, it was a sunny time of year, so I got a sundress on. Had a jacket as well, but had some tights. I didn't have a change of clothes. I thought I'd be in and out. I didn't realize I'd be staying overnight either. This was not the original plan. So I just barely remembered to take my phone and my keys and stuff out of my jacket, which had zipper pockets, so I wouldn't have lost it. But, you know, take it out before I went onto the water. And then I was doing really good, like, on my knees and stuff on the paddleboard. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try and get up on it. And then the instructor goes, okay, try and get your feet a little wider apart. And then that's when I fell. I was drenched for the whole rest of the night. I got like almost hypothermia. Thank God one of the other instructors like lent me their change of clothes that they had, because they had some extras because, you know, they're used to getting drenched at work, that they had in their locker. So that was nice of everyone. It was really fun, but remember to take stuff out and wear proper attire when you're doing paddleboarding. For example, wear your buoyancy aid. I did have a buoyancy aid on, just to be clear. You're not even allowed on the jetty without a buoyancy aid, honestly. Like, safety is paramount. Okay, now this is one I really like. So in my adventure photo book, I have some helmets that you saw when I was on it earlier. I have some more photos of helmets, and they used to just store all these helmets with different colours in these, like, I don't know what to call them, buckets, bins, tubs, whatever, outside, like where they would dry equipment off before taking it back into the wet room. But they all just came in different colours for different sizes, and I thought it was beautiful to make like a little montage. And then I made a social media post which was like, hey, what's your favourite colour? And then just posted all of these, and I love them. I don't think I've ever sold any pictures of my helmet collages. So hopefully it'll be nice for people to just flick through and see all the different varieties and options available. So we've got all the oranges and the yellows and the reds, and then we've got some cooler tones coming up in the next one. Now, something that you should consider when making photo books as well is people talk about quality of an image. Well, you don't want to print a book at a size that is going to be so big that when you stretch out a photograph to fill the page, that it will actually lessen the quality by, you know, making the pixels stretch too far or something and make the image blurry. You don't want to do that, so think really carefully about how big you want your book to be overall and how much your images can actually endure. So let's keep flicking through here. I've just realised I muted my music and I want my music back. Why did I mute my music? There we go. I was wondering why it was deathly silent. I was just talking to myself. Oh wait, that's streaming anyway. Ha 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 ha. Let's see. Yeah, quite like this one. Good. Buoyancy aids. I've got so many pictures of buoyancy aids, you know. Comments? Who's supposed to throw a comment there? No? Oh well, whatever. Let's keep going. We've got Sparry. Adding more pictures. Oh, there's one beautiful image of just some water that I am dying to show you, and I have no idea when I'm going to get to it, so hopefully it's soon. Oh, I love these little dinghies. Okay, right. I genuinely think they're called dinghies, like they're little sailboats. One thing that's really good about the Anderson Centre as well is they had like, their main thing is getting everyone included in outdoor activity. So they have a special accessible wheelie boat, for example, and they find different ways to make different activities accessible for other people. They've had blind guests, deaf guests. The instructors are trained for special needs, learning disabilities, all the whole shebang. They even have a couple of instructors that have special requirements to work under, and they're so accepting and lovely, and I just can't tell you anyone has had an issue with it. And they do corporate retreats as well. They were really trying to promote that when I was there, and they hired an outside agency to do it, and they really didn't have much success with the outside agency. But I wasn't comfortable enough yet working in that environment to tell people that they were doing the job badly. So, you know, whatever. Let's see. Oh, this picture, this shot is one of my favorite shots ever. Like, that I've ever taken. Like, I love taking pictures of people. That's just my thing. I like taking pictures of people. But this shot is one of the best pictures of objects I've ever taken. And I really hope it doesn't get cropped too badly here right now. Ooh, okay. I think I'll get away with that. But just this collection of all the speedboats like clustered together at the jetty, and the little yacht there, and then the rafter canoes, and the colours just so vibrant, and the depth of field, I got it so perfect. Oh my god. Excuse me while I just buzz over my own photography. Because, you know, I am my own best customer. I don't know what that means. I was like the opposite of you're your own worst critic. Like, you've got to hype yourself up or no one else is going to. Like, I am a bit scathing of myself too, but we live in a world of dichotomies. Let's see. Now this is really harsh sunlight, which is never great for photography when you don't control the lighting conditions, but I think it might... I'm curious to see how it would print, honestly. Like, will it just end up being white, or will it have the shiny appeal look to it? We'll see. But I think that's a really cool shot. It was a beautiful day. It is an absolutely glorious day. I'm getting mildly shocked on my laptop as well, because this carpet is so staticky. Does anyone know what material gets rid of static shock? Oh, this shot. I'm only including this because it did get accepted by Adobe Stock, so that tells me that people are not identifiable enough because of the Santa suits. But this was so funny because I had to shoot all the Christmas materials in like August, so it was glorious sunshine everywhere every time we were shooting for Christmas. But yeah, dueling Santas. My original plan that I wanted was to get one of the Santas like floating in the water, and then the other one was sort of like jabbing him out with the canoe paddle. I couldn't climb back in to be like, there is only one. But they couldn't get the buoyancy aids safely. Like, I don't know. They couldn't safely have the buoyancy aids and hang on to the boat, and like there was some sort of technical element that made it too obstructive to actually shoot what I wanted to shoot. So they do have the buoyancy aids on here, just to be clear. That was really ambiguous the way I phrased that. But they're hiding them under the suits, so it's fine. And this beard, right? This beard is so cleanly edited because it originally like came down so his whole face was visible and it was really droopy, and the guy had dark hair, so you could like seal his dark hair. And then when I originally tried to sort of desaturate it and clone it and just sort of blend it in, then it originally didn't work, and then just magically full Santa beard, so yay. Let's see. I like this shot. To this day, still not really sure what's going on with these yellow things. Like, they're definitely boats, but it looks like it's supposed to be attached to something else. So if anyone's able to tell me about that, that would be great.
Amazon Prime presents Eddie Murphy's new Christmas movie, Candy Cane Lane, and fast delivery, all for $8.99 a month. I've got to sign up now.
Get great entertainment and fast delivery.
Oh, that's why I turned the sound off, because I had the adverts, so let's actually remember to turn it back on in a moment. Let's do one more photo and then turn it back on. Let's see. Is this one water sports? Yes. Oh, I actually really like this shot. Again, super sunny day. Really beautiful in person. Horrible photography lighting conditions. They're literally impossible to account for. How much negative space do we want? No, we really need the square shape in it, so I'm just going to keep that there. Like, you can really see the shape of the door in the sun. I thought that was so good. Let's see. I'm thirsty again. Talking to yourself is thirsty work. I have a funny feeling my other key light's about to die, even though I just charged before we started. I guess one possible option is I could put my tablet up on a big white screen and then just set it on the shelves next to me. I don't know if that's exactly strong enough though. Apparently my mum was in the free shops today looking for cheese for Christmas because I asked her very specifically, can you get this one cheese I like, because I'm so picky about cheese. I only like the Strength 1 mild orange cheddar from Morrison's. And it has to be the own brand one, and no other cheese is suitable. So like, that was a whole thing. And since I moved into the city centre, can't find the cheese I like. Literally impossible. It's just not there. Oh, these are all really good shots, but I can't do it because people are recognisable. That is so annoying. Ooh, can I get away with this one? I'm gonna have to zoom in to check. Nope, that's a face. No faces. Sad, but no. Oh, let's see. What about this one? No faces. Okay, not as good, but you can still see the very pretty water. And just the shapes the ripples make, I love it so much. I feel like I have very high shutter speeds for a lot of my shots here. Ooh, do we want more tree reflection? No, it just makes it look murky. Or more blue, reflecting the sky. Okay, what else we got? Let's see. Next one. Okay, that day is complete. Let's move on here and go to the next day. And let's see, that's land, land, land. I'm sorry that you can't see my pop-up of my file organizer, but I don't mean that's something I can actually link as a source because it's very back and forth constantly. But you'll see it when I actually select one and it goes onto the Canva, so I hope that's good enough for you. Okay, this is a bunch of archery pictures. I'm pretty sure I only shot archery this day. Let me keep going real quick. Yeah, I remember this was like the day that a Mormon church group came in, and I always wondered if the girl I grew up with who was Mormon was at the same church, because I had to go to her confirmation one time, and like, I'm not necessarily comfortable with religious people generally, because like, you're cool, believe what you believe, but I know a lot of religious people who have tried to sort of convince me of their religion at a time. Oh my god, this picture! I love this picture! This picture was possibly I think it was my second most liked picture while I ran the centre social media, because the most liked one was when like a long-time staff member was leaving, and I put this as like the calm before the storm. Oh, I think it's gonna crop it funny though. Oh no, okay, that's fine. Because I really like the speedboat out in the distance and then the rafted canoes, but then you can see beautiful direct sunshine, but then there's like the really dark clouds off in the background. It was a torrential storm that day. It was crazy, but I love the shot so much, and the calm before the storm was probably a hashtag that really helped it. But that was so good. Love that shot. What else we got? Oh, there's people. Oh, choking on myself. Speedboat. Yeah, we want a speedboat. We like the speedboat. I'm just in love with the speedboat. If I could, like, I'm gonna learn to drive a speedboat before I learn to drive a car, I swear, honestly. I actually drifted one time, under supervision, I should point out, but it was so fun. But I can't properly drive a car, so. I think it's because if you're on the water, you make your own paths. I'm pretty sure people who live on canals would disagree, but you know, this is what I say. Oh, should I go? Oh, this is hard. So I have a really already zoomed in version of this shot, which is this one. Or I have one where you can actually see the flagpole. But no, not the flagpoles, the sails, the mast. I learned all these sailing words and then they come and go from my memory. When you're a marketer, you really learn the niche stuff about different industries that you don't personally involve yourself with. That's the thing that really bugs me, is a lot of people insist that to market an industry, you must be personally involved in the sector and have a personal, like, resounding need to include yourself in whatever's going on. And research is so important, but if you start working for someone and you don't know the industry through and through in your personal life, that doesn't prevent you from learning it to the degree that they can start the sales funnel process. It just really bugs me. It's a real pet peeve of mine. I knew nothing about boats. I learned a lot about boats for this job. I knew nothing about packaging for other people. I learned loads about packaging. Bouldering, learned a bunch about that. just like professional clowning. I mentioned this client before. It's such a weird like industry. It was a best client, but like I did stuff for a professional clowning instructor. Didn't know anything about that. I have such an eclectic mix of knowledge. It's like I love it so much. So if you're hiring a marketer, digital marketer, whatever sort, they don't need to know about your industry preventatively. They just need to know how to research industries. Let's see, what else we got? Different speedboat. Oh, which one do I want? Different speedboat? That one. Orange speedboat. I feel like this is going to end up being a particularly chunky book, you know, because every time I was bored or I didn't want to sit at my desk for a bit, I would just go out with my camera and be like, okay, what's going on today? Let's go to the water. Something's always going on at the water. And that's what I did, and it worked. So I got loads of beautiful shots and it helped people come in. Let's see what else we got. Oh, should we do a texture one? I think we should do a texture one. Here's a pontoon. Let's get the texture of the pontoon done. I try and angle these, so obviously you want to get the 90 degrees because, you know, that's just turning it correctly. But I try and get it so when you open up the book, you'll be looking at it where the top of the image is facing, is like the side that is not attached to the spine. But I'm not going to know if I get that perfect until I actually look at the book preview. So I hope that's what I've done here. We'll see. I don't think it affects anyone's reading experience enough to sort of ruin it for them if you don't, but you know. Let's get some more water ripples in. Like we said, we're not being discriminatory. We're just getting as many pictures as possible because, you know, give people what they pay for. They want to see photos of watery things and they want to escape away from their reality that they have. Oh, I really like this one. I know I have a similar shot, but it's just a different angle now. Like, it's literally the same thing, same day, different angle, but it looks so nice. Right, okay. And I'm just gonna nudge it along there so we got a little less astroturf. There we go. Okay. Now I wonder if I should make this about, when I do the description, should I make it more about just adventure sports generally, or should I start talking about lower income reservoir? Because it's probably a less competitive keyword, but I'm not sure. Okay, this is actually a detail image of a knot which tied the rafted canoes together, and I feel like people won't necessarily think of knot tying and rope work unless they're thinking of like climbing. But you got to remember about all the nautical sailory elements of water sports. They need that stuff.
He surprised me with tickets to see this band I love. Then he got us a spot at the front so I could actually see.
Back to archery, kit shots, that's office stuff, because I did have to do office stuff occasionally. Here's quite a nice one. This is a little buoyancy aid with a little pocket for storage, and people sometimes have like a dry box that they would use. The difference between a buoyancy aid and a life jacket, I used to know this. A buoyancy aid... No, I do know this. Like a life jacket, I think part of it is that it's inflatable, whereas buoyancy aid is just as it is all the time. And then also a life jacket has like more stuff like a whistle for signaling, a little torch attached by default. You can include these other things in a buoyancy aid. I might be talking out my arse now, but like a life jacket is for emergencies for a start, and a buoyancy aid is preventative. I was just talking about how much you know about boats. Look, the knowledge is selective. I don't choose what comes out or when. Oh, here's a... Okay, this is a picture of a locker, which isn't necessarily water sports, but, you know, you store your stuff when you're away. And I just think it's a beautiful shot. So, you know, it's all about the experience. We're living vicariously. We're even doing the getting changed in a changing room that we're not in vicariously. There we go. Beautiful. Love that Shelley Defferfield shot. Let's see. Oh, some close-ups of some neoprene. This shot I've actually sold in stock, so here we go. People like this image. People buy this image. They can buy it again in a different format. There we go. Take it. Look at those close hangers. Let's see. Is this like charged to any degree yet? Oh wow, that was fast. I got like whole 2 bars already. I mean, if it dies again, then clearly it can go fast. Nice. Let me see my face. Okay, what else we got? More cloakroom. That's a windbreaker. Do we want a shot of a windbreaker? Not right now. Terracotta tiles at the floor, although I did sell that shot. That's probably on the edge of what we'd call water spots now. Okay, next day, we're moving on. Let's see. Excuse me, let's hope I don't have hiccups. This is all very land-based. Yeah, land sports. Did all this the other day when I made my land-based photo book. Let's see. Oh yeah, they had two locations. There's Lower Rivington Reservoir and there's High Rid as well. And these are a lot of shots I took at High Rid, so I quite like this one. This is like where they've stored life jackets in a big storage locker. So if you see those random things next to a body of water, it's probably because it's storing water sports equipment. Please don't rob them. That happened a few times while I was working there. People just break in and steal shit. And there's no point. You're ruining people's days. Like, they had this thing called the HAF program that I wrote a blog post about while I was there for like disadvantaged children who needed like healthy snacks and to do fun things in the school breaks, and some of it just got ruined because I had equipment stolen. There was also the fact that like old equipment got sold off for really good prices sometimes. So if you wanted to get involved in it, if you're telling me you're nicking water sports equipment so you can take part of it, you can get cheap equipment. There are whole groups for that to sort of just give it away to secondhand people. But yeah, let's take a look here. This shot isn't the perfect shot, but like I said, we're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Because people want a thicker photo book, and that's fine. Okay, that was quite a short day. Let's see. Oh, because I got rained out that day, didn't I? I got absolutely drenched. Staff shots. Kitchen shots, no. Okay, we had a few dead days. There were times where I just had too much stuff to shoot and edit, and I just didn't want to add more to the pile, so it's fine. Oh, it was a really nice one. This is like a foggy, misty day. This was the day I didn't get rained out, but it rained a lot anyway. It's just I didn't really have the option of going home that day because there was an event going on that I needed to shoot. Actually, that was the HAF program, and I made a really nice video about it as well, so you can see the pouring rain. You can see that on my... Let me put the link up here. You can see that on my website, www.dibdabdigital.com / ooh, where is it? It's in / copywriting, because it links to the blog post which has the video embedded in it. I really hope that the Anderson Centre hasn't reformatted their website, because I know that they did update their website, but they ended up doing like a whole new design and stuff, and they still use some of my images, especially on the Christmas page, so that made me really happy. But this is where you can see the video of the HAF program that I did if you want to watch it, but I have no idea if you'll be able to link it there. Otherwise, you can go on their YouTube channel, it's there. But it was a really cool day. I just got absolutely soaked. Luckily, one of the instructors lent me some like special waterproof clothing. Amazed my camera didn't get filled with mold and rot away. Like, honestly, those lenses were airtight, and changing lenses was terrifying. But I managed to survive, and I got really good video, and I got these really good photos, and I think they're really good. So let's see what else we got. Okay, got some paddles there. There we go. Have a little paddle section, why not? How many images are we at so far? We've got 37 pages so far. I feel like we could almost certainly break 100 by the time we're done with this, honestly. Let's see. Oh, that's a really good shot, but they're recognizable. It's like, I was about to say like, oh god, I wish these people didn't ruin these beautiful photos, but the fact that the people are in it are what make them really good. Like, I love shooting people. In context, that could sound really awkward, or out of context, whatever. But no, I really wish I could use some of these shots, but nope, they got people in them, so I've got to protect identities of those who did not actively choose to participate in this product. So, you know, even though I technically have permission, but I don't want to abuse that, because I want people to trust me when I am shooting photos around them. I will respect their wishes. Just FYI. Now, however, I can shoot all the pictures of equipment I want, and we're on to a day that had some gorgeous colours going on. Like, harsh sunlight is not good for photography, but somehow it was just working this day. It must have been really diffused. It was so beautiful this day. This is like the second day I worked there or something. It was so good. I was like seriously in a moment of how am I going to get to shoot all these amazing things like all the time. It just worked out fantastically for me, really. Let's see what else we got. Oh yes. And I also got an opportunity to test out a really different lens to what I usually had. So there was a 135mm lens, and because I had a crop sensor, they actively magnify by, I don't know if it's just 2, it might be 2.5, but I think it might be just be 2. But either way, so it makes stuff look even closer than it actually is. So if you want to use a long lens like that on an item, then you have to make it so you're stood about a mile away sometimes. So if you want to like get a full body shot of someone with the 135mm lens, then you just got to stand so far back. And it was such a big environment here that I actually had the option of doing that, so that was great. Ooh, how am I going to crop this? I think that's good like that. Let's keep going. Let's see. No recognizable people. Oh, this shot of this teenager. These shots actually have been used on the social media of the Anderson Centre when I worked there. Like, you have to scroll back a fair bit now because it's been a while since I worked there. They were used there because that was the purpose they were shot for, and people knew that they might end up on the website there, so that's why it was fine. So if you want to see them, go check it out there. Here's these pictures of just the most beautiful water shots ever. I turned this into a little poster with the time slots that they had available for, what are they called? Oh, what are they called? I forgot. Something play session. No. Play paddle. No. Oh my god, why have I forgot? Pay and play. That was it. You just got to use the equipment or whatever. But I put little dates and stuff down this image and turned it into that. But it's just a boy in some water. But I love it so much. This was when I got first taken out on my speedboat, and I was like, "Can you take me over to that yellow boy?" They are like, "Why?" But it was worth it. It was a beautiful shot. And this is possibly the best picture of just waves I've ever got. Like, you'd think it was actually on a beach, but it's on a reservoir, so it's great. Oh, and it's about to get cropped really weird, isn't it? Let's stick with the sharper side. The fact that you can have sharper water, like, you can tell when it's artificial blur on something because it'll like choose something that's like the foreground and that's the subject matter, and it'll take everything that it hasn't decided as the subject matter and then just blur it. But when you can see that someone used a proper camera with a proper depth of field and aperture that's shallow, or you know, whatever, there's a separation of distance between the subject and the foreground and the background, you can see this gradual change in blurriness that like the average person who's like an untrained eye may not be able to even really perceive, but their brain knows it's more natural. Like, I'm a trained eye, but you can just see like this was a really fast shutter speed because the water's not got any motion blur. You can really see the arcs of the ripples frozen in time. But this wave is sharper and this one's out of focus, and that's because I had a shallow depth of field on my lens. And we were moving, so it was really hard to actually get that shot without a lot of motion blur. Thank God it was so unbelievably bright because the exposure triangle would have ruined it otherwise. What else we got? Let's see. Recognizable people, recognizable... Okay, these aren't recognizable people. Out of focus, no hair. I feel like I can get away with this one. How are we gonna crop it? No. I think that's good. Yeah. No one recognizable there. Let's see. Next day. We're getting kind of far along now. Not got many folders left to check. Are there even any pictures in that file? Oh no, I remember what happened that day. There are no pictures in that file. I originally thought I had pictures and then I didn't. That's a networking event, so that's not going to have any water sports images. What's this next one? Let's see. People. Not even water sports, but people. Oh, maybe, yeah. it's kind of a grey day, get some variety in there, because, you know, some people like the, I was going to call it the fall, oh god, this is some American stuff sometimes, autumn, the autumn season, where it's a little bit cooler now, but it gives you like some less harsh shadows to work with when you're shooting in that sort of grey environment. I would probably introduce an artificial light source if I was shooting like a portrait in this, but otherwise no, we're good. Alright, let's see. Land, recognizable people. I do think we're coming up to the ones now that are going to be shot full of people that I'm not able to shoot. Oh, that's when Sky News came. It was weird when the people from Sky News came, because I was just trying to be like an accommodating resource, help them get what they needed. One of the instructors did ask me to tie the points and I was like, nah, not comfortable with that. I was also not comfortable when they asked me to time on children as well, and I'm like, no, I'm not taking this person's life in my hand when I'm literally not qualified. I am here to be ignored and be the camera person, and I'm not even included in the session that's supposed to feel like I'm not there. No, I'm not going to do that. But I'd like try to get them everything they needed, to get all the shots that they needed. I was like, what bow do you want to go on? What do you want to get pictures of? What do you want to get? Who do you want to get interviews with? All these questions. And I just feel like they really thought I was trying to be like, oh my god, hire me. But I wasn't. Like, I gave them my card because that's just like a thing I do with people. It's sociable. It's like, oh, do you want to keep in touch? Here it is. Here's my details. Not even go on my website. Not even hire me. Just, if you want to find me on a social media platform, here's your option. I don't mean like, give me a shoot to go on. Just, there's some weird ego that people in mainstream media have sometimes. Not always. Definitely not always. But, I don't know. I really wasn't trying to get in with ITV at the time. Not to say I wouldn't ever, but just the behaviour of those individuals confused me to a degree. And they weren't even unpleasant, they were just like, I don't know. I felt like I was somehow annoying them when I was their primary point of contact. Pretty sure they didn't even end up making the feature at the end. Like, I think they spent all this time getting stuff and it never actually got shown. It was around the time that, what was it, Afghanistan was collapsing. So, you know, there were other news pieces to be getting on with, but I feel like they're different audiences, you know? Let's see. Do you want that one? Yeah, we want this one. I've sold this picture before. This is in the boathouse, so this is like a storage, and you can see the winch with the dolly and everything on it. What's that, 90 degrees? There we go. I always do this to myself. I don't have to squint, in theory, because, like, I admit I'm short-sighted. My optician even said I have the perfect eyes for my job, which means I'm got perfect eyes for looking up at very close screens and letting the camera do the work. But I do this thing where once I've set my laptop up for live streaming, I put it too far away from me, so I have to like lean in to see the screen, and I've got all the cables in it now, so I can't move it when my camera is now up here, not the webcam attached to the device, so I could have it right up here if I wanted, it wouldn't matter, but I just forgot, so whatever. I feel like I need to do a little check-in here. How are we all doing today? Oh, we've got 2 concurrent viewers right now. We've had some more people dropping in and out, it seems. Seriously, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on these images. Like, are there any that you like? Are there any that you feel like they're so grievous, you should get rid of them, they're horrible, they're boring, no one's gonna buy it? Like, what do you think? Tell me your thoughts. If there are any pictures that you really love, let me know. If you want to use them yourself for your own means, then I can tell you where they're available for purchase. And soon you'll be able to get this whole book here. Actually, at the end of the stream, if you want to look out for any of the notifications on when this is published, I will tell you that you can go sign up to my email list on my website, www.dibdabdigital.com, and then if you go to the footer of the website, then you'll see the sign up to my email list or any of my social media. You can follow those, and you will see a link to buy it soon enough. Especially because I am actually going through, probably on my next live stream honestly, because it was another one of the options I had, I'm going to go through all of the content that I have just had to sit there doing not much, and I'm going to schedule out my social media for hopefully next few months at the very least, so I'll be sure to include a link to this book when it's available for purchase. I'll mix it in there somewhere. Alright, now this is when we went to a college event, we took the mobile climbing walls, there's not going to be any water sports in there. Let's see. No, climbing. That dude, oh, I need to talk to this dude, he's like Jesus or whatever. I saw him here, and I took photos of him here, and then I saw him at the bouldering gym I worked at after this job, doing marketing, and I was like, how are you everywhere? and he's like the coolest dude to watch climb anyway. You can tell him that he's like proper bouldery, because like there are rope climbs and high climbers and people who use like belays and everything, but then bouldering is like less height. It's supposed to be. People do free climb ridiculous heights when they choose to, but you actually can tell the difference in the climbing styles because they're like less, I don't know, I was gonna say boulders are less vertical. Obviously you still go up, but there's less urgency to just find the quickest possible way to get up, and it's more about the being one with the rock and all that. So the way they solve a problem is not necessarily the quick option, it's the natural option, is how I'll describe it. It's a bit of a monkey man who's got. We're nearly at the end of these galleries now, so yeah, no, that's not got any water sports. Last file. Have we got any here? That's nature, nature. Oh, here's that zombie hand one. Let's see. No. But you know what? No, I actually purposely didn't include it in the land sports book because this is holding a paddle, so where is it? Now, this is actually not the most popular shot from the gallery, but this is my favourite shot from the zombie hand gallery. Because it's got a little finger like that, sort of crooked, and the way it's like balancing it, it just feels more zombie than tight grip, you know, it's just waking up is the idea. I wonder if the guy Inferior's dug his own hand out, because that's not a small hole, if that's gone through it, but it looks like a small hole, so you know, maybe he's just been buried and collapsed in there, who knows. The idea was it's a zombie breaking out, but you know, whatever. This is my favourite shot from the gallery, and now I'm gonna have to crop it in a funny way again. Yeah, keep the hand centralized. Just a little off. There we go. I think that's a great one to wrap off the book with. Last photo in the book, yeah. Because, you know, people will open a book and, like, with a photo book, they'll be like first page, last page. I don't know if people do that with normal books. Sometimes I do, but then there's, like, a heavy risk of spoilers. But first page, last page, really good shots. And then you can pad out the not so amazing ones in the middle just to help it all breathe. Yeah, so now we have the actual contents of the book. Now we're going to create the cover, and I have a template cover which I just adapt for different means. I just want to have a moment to chill out and stop talking. Oh, I've just realised I stopped showing the screen. The zombie photo, here you go. This is my favourite one from that zombie gallery that I did for Halloween paddle sports. There you go. And then we'll go back to my full screen. I'm gonna have a little, oh look, the top light died just as I was talking about how that might happen. Ugh. That plugged in. Oh my god, you work while you're plugged in? Oh my god. If I could just feed a cable around up there, then we'd be golden. Ugh. That just looks like zombie mode, doesn't it? Well, I'll leave this and let this charge on its own, because that's too harsh. What if I put this one up here? There you go, a bit more diffused, but you can see more of my face that way. Hope everyone's enjoying their time on my stream today. We've just been going through all my old pictures really while I put them into a photo book. I'm gonna, in a moment, going to make the cover, and then after that we're going to go through the process of actually uploading it to Amazon KDP. If you missed the beginning of this, don't forget that all my live streams are actually added to a playlist at the end, and I always make sure they stay on my YouTube channel, so you can just subscribe, go back onto the channel page later, and once it has finished processing the 4K information, you'll be able to see it in all its glory with step-by-step instructions and a bit of an explanation of how it is. Really bugging me that the comments on this chat box aren't working, but oh well. Thank you everyone who's watching so far, and let's get a move on with this, and let's remember to actually share the correct screen. There we go. Right. So, didn't mean to close the tab like that. Thank God it auto-saves. But this will actually help me. So if we open this, it'll open another tab for my last photo book, which is the land sports counterpart for this. So we're going to copy the whole page, and then we're going to insert a new page, move it along here, and then just paste. There we go. So what are we gonna call this book? let's look at my competition for a start. Water sports photo book. Do I have competition? How many people do this sort of thing? Kayaking photo book. Picture of an exciting water sports for all fans. 4D high quality. Oh, not 4D, 40. I can read. 40 high quality and unique photos to decor. The grammar on that feels a bit sketchy, I must say, but you know, whatever. A surfing life photo book, 30 plus wonderful images for surfing lovers. Artistic swimming photo book. See, I've got a lot of variety. Scuba diving, kayaking. Is it the same kayaking book? No, different kayaking book. Okay, so they all focus on like individual sport. A lot of kayaking. A lot of kayaking. And look, people, I don't mean to be shady, but I think a lot of these photos are boring. I can only go by the cover, which, okay, see, that's the back cover as well, which is why I say you should really get the pictures on there. Like, some of these are good. I don't mean to be scathing. Honestly, I really don't. It's just my opinion. But I just think a lot of photography in general is really boring. I think the colours are dull. I think they're too samey. I think like maybe it's really hyper realistic and true to the eye, but when I shoot photographs, I like to make them a bit more vibrant than the real world. I want to make them a bit more, I want to make them pop. I want to do stuff a little bit exaggerated, not beyond the realms of possibility. You can see some shots that are included in this photo book we've just made, like the water, like that's questionable depending on how bright the sky is that day, and it was not that blue that day, I'll tell you now. That water was more like grey. Whereas this similar shade of water, actually more realistic to what was going on at the time, although you can see I boosted the blues a little bit back here. This water, that was pretty realistic to the time. But then if you go to this one, the water was not that blue. It was not the colour. But isn't it gorgeous? So that's where I take artistic license with my photography. Like, I just want everything to be a little happier and a little brighter and, you know, make people feel better about things. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to detach the images from this. This is a frame that you have, so it chooses like the shapes and you can put an image on and it'll make it to that shape using a masking tool of sorts. It's very automatic. There are more personalized ways to do this, but I found this to be the fastest for what I wanted to achieve. So since this is meant to be a bit of a tutorial, you'd go into these elements here and you'll go down and you see these things called frames and grids and different like structures. And the idea is when you see this cloud, a little green mound, that's when you can put your own image into it. So if you want to have something like more than typical cropping in an unusual shape, that's the sort of thing you want to do with Canva. Okay. Attach image. And what I like doing with the covers images that I put on my photo books is I like making it so you can see some things that are included, but because it's cropped, then you actually need to look inside the book to get the full experience of the image. So that's just something I like. So I'm gonna do, let me just change it. So water base adventure sports photo book. But I feel like that's a bit boring, and I feel like this is a bit better than the book that I had for the land. And not to say the land one's bad, but like it just doesn't have as many shots, and it doesn't have as big a variety of shots, so this just depends what sports you want to look at, to be honest. Let's see. Adventure, water, sports. Can't really call it all paddle sports, can I? Because then we've got motorized boats in here, we've got helmets in here. Let's see, how many of it is not paddle sports? Let me flick through. Except for the speedboats, it's pretty heavy paddle sports, to be fair. I feel like that's more search engine optimized, so I'm going to put paddle sports photo book. Adventure paddle sports photo book. It's not the most creative name ever. It's not groundbreaking, I admit that, but we're just going for SEO benefits here because, as we said at the beginning of this stream, this is for photographers who want to make passive income. So you want to be able to to make it as easy for people to find as physically possible. And since it worked with the land one, it was the first result when I searched Adventure Sports Photobook. It came up. I didn't even mention land in it, but you know, it came up, it worked. Right, so now let me go into my uploads here, and we're going to pick a variety of images that I think are going to be appropriate as a cover photo. So love these paddle sports here, and I can hear an advert in my ear again. I wish it would stop. There we go, music. It did stop, only if you ask nicely. So let's see. I like this one. And what else we got? Let's get some paddles. Some actual paddles. Oh, the most beautiful shot. The most beautiful shot. I might rearrange these in a minute, see how the balance of the whole cover in general looks, but let's see. What we got? Where's the zombie gone? It will have been right at the top because it's the most recent one. Zombie. Up there, maybe. I feel like it should go down there, but I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Get the nice waves in. And then what else? Some buoyancy aids. Need some buoyancy aids. Shot some buoyancy aid. What's my favourite buoyancy aid photo is a question, actually. Then we also got to think about the balance of colours in these things. No. Ooh. Maybe. No, that's just it's too similar. No, buoyancy aids. What buoyancy aid? Tree buoyancy aids. Why not? Why not? Okay, and now we filled all the slots, and this doesn't feel like a good balance. So, I'm gonna move this one, and this one, and this one. I'm going to put the water up here. I'm going to put the people there. The buoyancy is there. Sort of leads more inwards. But now I feel like the water should go between the two, to be honest. So detach that again. And detach this one. And swap them around. That feels closer. Do I swap these two is the question. Kind of darker on this side maybe. I feel like it's because this leads to this corner, so I swap these ones down. Don't mind my gibberish. I'm sure if other photographers are watching, then they'll understand, which I hope you are, because that's sort of what I'm targeting this at. If you aren't a photographer and you're watching anyway, amazing, great, enjoy, but that's sort of what I'm thinking. Maybe I really want this one to be front and center, but I feel like having little sit-up canoes and paddleboards. Well, they're actually called sit-on-top kayaks. They're not canoes for a start. Canoes sort of have the little wooden plank seats in them. They're a bit different. No, I feel like if I swap this one and then swap this one. I just can't tell what looked better. Anyone in chat gonna help me out? What do you think looks better? Having the zombie hand in the middle or on the right hand side? What do you think? Honestly, even as I'm saying it, I feel like I'm gonna swap these two back around again, to be honest. Undo, 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 undo. Yeah, I feel like that really flows nicely. Okay. So we got that. Then let's compare to the land version. Did we stick anything at the back? I think we just stuck an extra page. There we go. So we copy this page. Copy. Add. Paste. And make the background image my brand color for this, which is just free. There we go. That was just a plain page to bounce out. Thicken it out a bit more, but I don't think I need that on this one. Here's my intro page. Let's see. Probably gonna amend this a little bit. Doop. Get the color back. There you go. The following images are photographs I took during my time working at the Anderton Center between Lower Rivington Reservoir and I know what it was called earlier. High Red Reservoir. It was a privilege working at such an amazing organization. I can type organization. They will not check you for typos, by the way. Amazon KDP, they do not care about your typos. That is a you problem. You get it proofread, especially if you're doing like a book, like this is a photo book. If you're doing a written word book, get someone to proofread it. Someone who's not you. You are way too emotionally tied to it and you'll become blind to words over time. Get someone to proofread it. Good God, they will not spell check you. As long as the book will physically print and it will not be errored out in production, they don't care what it says. So, just so you know. Oh, I thought with my ice smell. I think my coffee isn't much too watery now. Oh, that is on the cusp of allowable. I'm gonna write this and then down that. Right. It's a privilege working at such an amazing organisation with lovely people and beautiful landscapes. I've misspelled privilege. There we go. And that is all true. I'm not just saying it to blow smoke up anyone's ass. I don't imagine that anyone from the centre is ever going to see this. But genuinely, loved it there. If you ever get a chance to visit, you should go. One thing I will say, the beds. They're great for children on school trips visiting who maybe come in soaking wet and just collapse on the bed and not think about it, or maybe, I don't know, they're so young that they piss the bed. But those mattresses are not 5-star standard. They are, it's an adventure centre, remember, it's about roughing it. And it wasn't the most uncomfortable thing ever. I did actually sleep there a couple of times during like work events, but you know, it's not the Hilton, is it? Alright, it's got that page, last page. Okay, so I'm about to do something that's a bit botchy here, so please bear with me. So this is not actually advisable, what I'm about to do, but I am going to move this photo book for a start. I'm going to get this coffee out of the way while it's safe. I'm going to get a second laptop out, which I'm afraid you won't be able to see because it is disconnected. It's not set up for the stream or anything, but I will talk you through my process as I go. Move the tablet out the way. So I'm currently using a different laptop, which you can see here, and I am logged in on a Canva Pro account on this laptop, and I cannot log it in on the laptop I'm streaming on because it would get too confusing, and also I need to be able to shift between two accounts anyway, so I'm going to go onto Canva, get this, I'm going to share, anyone with the link can see, copy the link, and then I'm going to hide my screen again while I go onto my personal email account, and I'm going to email myself on this over address. and I'm going to paste the link and wait for that email to come through. It will take a minute, so we're going to wait for that to come through. Here it is. Okay, just going to click the link, we're going to open it, and that will open in this Canva Pro account. Now I'm going to really talk you through what to do here. So you listen carefully, people, because you won't be able to see this on my screen. You'll have to use your ears, or, you know, I don't know. I was going to say if you're deaf, then read the subtitles, but, you know, auto-generated is fine. It is. I've not had an issue with that before. Right, so I am going to... Now I am viewing this file as a guest. I'm going to click the share button in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to click download. Now, my file type, I really got to turn my head towards the mic here because I can't angle it to a different axis. So I'm going to get, file type is going to be PDF print because we are printing. It is the best for printing, PDF print. Remember that, print. I'm going to get, it automatically highlights all pages. We don't want all pages. We want all pages except the front cover because we've designed the front cover and the front cover gets imported separately. You can also upload back cover as well. No, that's not true. No, follow me on that. So there are two options when you go into Amazon KDP to upload your files. You have the manuscript file, which normally would be a bunch of words, but in our case it's a bunch of photos, so don't get them confused. And then you have two options for the cover file. So you can either upload a cover, which should be to the exact dimensions they want, and accounting for bleed and margin leak and all that, so like we talked about earlier. And it should encompass the front, the back, the spine. And to account for the spine, you need to know how thick the book's going to be as well, so that is really hard. And then it will create that from the single file. I think when I made my first one, you had the option of uploading a front and a back cover, but I don't know, it didn't work out. Or you could do what I do, which is I make a picture for the front cover, and then you go onto the cover builder tool that they have, which you'll see in a minute, we'll go onto it, and you can copy an image onto the front, and then it gives you like a generated option you can play about with for the back cover, and it's a thing. Little glitchy, we'll say that, a little glitchy. Not sure if it's just with my device, but you can work with it, it functions for this purpose, but this is why you don't select the first page of the file, because the first page of the file is our cover. So select every other page, and then click done on that. Color profile we talked about earlier. You want it to be in CMYK, which in brackets it actually says which one's good for digital screens and which one's good for printing, so you're lucky on that one. I can probably show you on here, but it won't allow me to do it, so there you go. If you go print, oh, you do want to flatten your PDF, by the way. Makes it easier. Basically it means it smushes everything together into a single thing. It's like not editable afterwards, which kind of, I don't think it protects from plagiarism or people messing with your stuff, but you know, makes it easier for all the other steps of the process later. Yeah, you'll see here CMYK, best for professional printing, but that's only on pro accounts, which is why I'm on my other device here. And then we're going to save download settings in case it messes up, and download. Now this is going to take a minute to download onto my device, so bear with. I love how I said I will show you and then I didn't switch to showing my screen, but there we go. I will show you. So here, this option here, PDF print, flatten your PDF, all the pages except the first one, and then put it on CMYK, which is best for professional printing. But you can't do that right now because we're using my other laptop for this with the Canva Pro account I have logged in on there. So this is almost done downloading now. And then once it has finished downloading, we're going to go onto WeTransfer.com so I can then email the link back to myself on the laptop that I'm streaming on, and then we can see the rest of the process there. So let's see. How many pages did we end up with in the end? We ended up with 52 pages. Accounting for the cover and the extra pages for the text inside, I think that means we have 49 images. I really thought I'd break 100. I guess I technically could have got 100 pictures in, but there would have been a few duplicates, and there would have been some stuff that, like, people don't want to see a lot of the same in slightly different fonts, let's say. So I think that's a healthy amount. It just means the book will be a little bit cheaper because I want to price it proportionately to both the work that it took to complete it and also proportionately to the actual product they'll receive. Like, if someone gets a book with like the minimum number of pages, which I think that this actually might just barely scrape the minimum number of pages now I think about it. I have one book that's 49 pages and that was like just barely over the minimum. But we want people to feel like they're paying a reasonable price for the product they're receiving, even if it is passive income. You can't just do a money grab. And remember, if you make a product too expensive, less people will buy it, and you've not put up any money up front for this. It's pure margin for you. So you want to make sure that it's actually at an appealing price in your competitive market. I always make myself a little bit more expensive than all the other ones I see, but I would argue that the quality of my photography makes it worth it. That's obviously an opinion-based thing, but I think my shots are good. That's why I sell them. That's why people have bought them before. So, you know, if you're a good photographer, you can make money selling photos. Simple as that, really. I do get annoyed, I will admit, that most people call me a photographer when primarily I'm a videographer. Like, I'm a full-stack digital marketer at this point, but if people ask my main skill, I would say video. Okay, so we're saving this, we're downloading it to the download, shockingly. Save. And then we want to do the same thing for just the cover, which is just the first one. So we saved our settings earlier, so we're going to download again. PDF print, blast in the PDF. Select all the pages, unselect all the pages, then just select page 1. Done. And download that one. And allow that one to download. Going to be much faster because the manuscript had a lot of images that it had to flatten, but this is just one. And that's going to download. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Where did it go? Oh, I've been live for. Whoa, an hour 40. I sometimes barely scrape an hour. I hope you guys are enjoying watching the show. Subscribe to DibDab Digital for more live streams like this where I hopefully get carried away because this is like lasting more than me. I intended to edit this down later into a shorter form video for people who couldn't be bothered watching the whole live stream, but it's not going to have all my fun quips and random spacing out, is it? But yes, going to download this. The ADHD is strong with me, I think you'll realise. It makes editing really annoying because sometimes I just space out and it's like, well, it's really satisfying to get to cut out a big long chunk of file, but also I wasted the memory on this file and now I have to waste memory on the edit of me getting rid of this file because people forget that when you edit something, the edit data takes up more space than if you just didn't have it. Right, downloading, and we're calling this one cover, so there's no confusion later. Now I've got my 2 files, going to go into WeTransfer. I'm going to upload both the files from today, which hopefully don't exceed 2 gigabytes, so we're going to have a bit of an issue. No, it's not even 0.1 gigabyte, so great, get a link. It's going to upload that. Oh no, it's a little over 0.1 gigabyte. It's 107.1 megabytes, which is, you know, not a lot of data at all. Which is good. There is a file size limit on Amazon KDP, but I have never even got close to hitting it, and I can't remember it from memory. So if you are concerned about uploading a book of extreme length, make sure you check that out. I think it also has a maximum number of pages that it can physically print, but I think that depends on the size of the book that you choose, the dimensions of the book that you choose, the print paper you go with. We'll go through all this in the next stage in a minute, so you'll see what I'm talking about. But there are restrictions based on the choices you make, essentially. It's a choose your own adventure. With your adventure water sports Photobook. Okay, so I've got my link. Copy the link. Reply to the email I sent myself before. With the link. Sending that. I'm going to set this laptop over here once it sends. Just in case we need it later for a redo. I'm gonna close it and put it over here for a sec. with my other stuff that I dump on my bed while I'm streaming, because I'm meticulously organised, but yet when I'm sat at my desk it seems like my room is suddenly a tip. Who is mentioning me? Email, an email from me. I wonder what that could be. Oh, my mum's still talking to me for Christmas. It's fine, I'll see her in a couple of days. We're travelling over on Christmas Eve, going up to Newcastle. The last 2 Christmases I've been at my boyfriend's family's place, and this is the first Christmas since my dad died, so we're going up to hers in her new place in Newcastle. And yeah, my brother actually lives up there because he went there to uni. He's done with uni now, but don't dox them, please. It wouldn't be preferable. I'd be shocked if you could find them based off that information alone. I don't even know where she lives yet. Right, so I'm going to go into my email. Going to click the WeTransfer link and download the files, and I'm going to save them to my hard drive that I have here. There we go. I'm gonna let that process. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. There we go. How long is this download going to take? Oh, it's already done. Amazing. It's a zip file. Let's open the zip file. We've got our stuff in there. And... oh, you can't see it yet. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Is that... I might have messed up on the cover, but we'll see if that's an issue. What about this one? Okay, no, the manuscript file is definitely fine, just possibly the cover might be a bit squiffy, and I can make an update to that later if it really starts bugging me. Generally I see how popular something is before I start nitpicking over it when it comes to passive income products, because, you know, half the time the client thinks that something I hate is the best shot in the gallery, so who am I to judge? A lot of people charge based off how many files they hand over, but I just go, here are the ones that fit my professional standards, have at it, do what you want. Obviously don't do what you want, I have licensing terms, but you know, do what you want within the specs of our agreement that you signed. I'm just not about that pay per photo nonsense. You pay for my time, you pay for my skills, you pay for the result of my efforts and the time it took to do it and the benefits you'll gain from it, not just the thing you're holding in your hand. So that's my personal opinion on that matter. Right, so sharing screen, definitely, yes, okay, so we have got this. We're going to create a new book. This is the fun part. I'm going to create a paperback book. It says hardcover's been in beta for like ever. One day I'll create a hardcover book, but you have to rejig all the files and stuff for it, so I've never felt compelled to yet. We're going to create a paperback. Especially because my books aren't thick enough. I feel like if the cover of the book is thicker than the actual contents of the book, then people are going to start feeling a little bit fobbed off, you know? Okay. Right, so the book title, we're going to go into our file and we're going to copy and paste that. Don't move it. Okay, copy and paste that. We should lock this. I'm gonna lock it now. It's locked. There we go. And paste into the book title. Got no subtitle. Adventure Paddle Sports photo book. It is part of a series. It's part of my Dib Dab digital photo book series. Existing series. My only series. It is main content of the series. Yes, confirm. Series update has been submitted. Well, the book's not published yet, so you know, it should really wait till I publish the book, but you know, whatever, fine. Let's see. Edition, it's first edition, doesn't matter. I always struggle with this because I'm not using my name. I'm using my brand name. And I don't know. It's something that makes me feel like I'm gonna get banned. Amazon KDP, do not mess around. You don't have multiple accounts. Just, if you get banned, just accept it, give up, because they do not like you making duplicate accounts. They don't like people. They've refused making accounts again, especially if you upload the same content. It will know if you're trying to republish the same book. For a start, ISBN numbers get attributed to things, and having a different ISBN number, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of legislation about that somewhere. Can't admit to being the most clued up on that one, but it's something like there's an account, there's a register of all the ISBNs. Oh yeah, is that on this? But no, not yet. If you attribute an ISBN to something through Amazon KDP, then you can only use that ISBN on Amazon KDP. If you've got an ISBN from somewhere else, then you can use that on Amazon KDP and use it for different distributors. So think about where you want to publish it. I know that I'm just doing this for passive income drop shipping. I don't want to have to think about this a lot. I'm not going to come back to this. It's not going to be my life work. I'm not setting it up in bookstores around the globe. I'm just putting some photos in a book for people to enjoy. Sit in the waiting room, have a flick through it maybe. Got a doctor's office, you want to distract people with some pretty pictures. Maybe it's actually at an adventure centre, so you offer some of the sports available and you want to get people psyched up while they're waiting for their session to start. Stuff like that. I'm not faffing about different ISBN numbers, just generate yourself. So Dib Dab Digital is the author. Contributor, I'm going to put my own name here actually. I've not done this part before, but how about we do that? Maybe that'll be a trend I do. Description, so I don't believe the little chunk I put here is going to be an appropriate description. I generally put the description as the blurb content as well. So this is where you want to start thinking about SEO content. So SEO, search engine optimization. It is how it's found on Google and Bing and all sort of stuff, but Amazon has its own on-platform search engine as well. So you want to think about what keywords people are going to be putting into their search bar where they'll be happy if your result gets pulled down as an option. You think those people will actually convert into buying customers. So you need to think about the sort of things your target audience is going to be searching for. So I'm thinking like people looking for gifts, people who are into adventure sports, people who are into paddleboarding, kayaking, but there was a lot of kayaking ones, so we don't want to focus too heavily on kayaking when we did our research because that's a highly competitive area. There was scuba diving, but we don't have scuba diving yet. So I think I will focus on the term paddle sports, water sports. Now, you gotta be careful not to do keyword stuffing for anything to do with SEO because then it'll just think like, oh, it's not very relevant. But for a product description like a photo book, you don't necessarily have to fill it out a huge amount to be able to actually get results. Like my bestseller is just like 1-2 sentences and then just a list of all the locations that we had. So let's have a think about that for a minute. And some people do like to brush it up with AI, but personally, I just feel like anytime I've gone, I never just put a prompt in and say, go AI, make the thing, you know, ChatGPT, whatever. I always write my own draft first, off my own mind, and then I go, try and improve this, add this, make it sound like this. But it's just never really worked for photo book descriptions for me. I think, like, it doesn't feel right. I feel like it wouldn't be effective, and it just puts a lot of rambling fluff into it. Sometimes I can't think straight and I actually use AI to do the fluff elements, you know, pad out the words. I get the main content of it and then I go, think of the adjective to describe this, whatever. But honestly, I feel like I'm probably just going to write this from scratch. What did I do for my adventure sports one? Let's see if we can make it similar, because it's part of the same series. It's basically two sides at the same time. Two sides at the same time? Two sides at the same kind? I don't know, brain glitch. You can see it's a draft now. Problem is, because this book has only been published like a couple days, we can't determine if this is an effective description that actually works. So let's take it as a little draft. Oh, I was convinced I'd have more water sports pictures, but because I combined two galleries here from two different locations and two different like periods of my life, I actually got more images on the land-based one, which is strange. But yeah, okay. Where's the tab? There's a tab, right. So this is our first stop. So a photo book containing, how many did we have? We've got to make sure this is accurate now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, I'm being stupid. We got 52 minus 1, 2, 3, so 49 images. Really wish I had one more, but no, whatever. Pretty sure that's more photos than the capacitors. A photo book containing over 49 unique images taken across Lower Rivington Reservoir and High Red Reservoir in Horwich, Greater Manchester. I think I actually said it like the chav meme for the first time accidentally there. Sometimes I try and say it as like a joke, like Manchester, but that was completely unironic. That. Okay, never mind. Horwich, Greater Manchester, England, UK. And when you do that sort of stuff, it's to try and get more keywords in for people who are searching for landscapey type things. So this one is not split into various sections. This one just flows.
Like the yummy Greek.
So let's go.
Peri and cooking
comprising of
one tap away.
Images. No, wait, we don't want it. Comprising of photographs
app for restrictions and availability.
of. Let's see.
Separate orders are required from each.
Comprising of photographs of. Let's see.
This Christmas, I am Aquaman. I'm a warrior, a father, and a king of Atlantis.
Not a lot of people actually doing the sports is the problem, because we didn't want to include people who weren't consenting. So really it's just themed around the equipment and stuff. It's kind of hard.
Jason Momoa.
We do have some people to things, but not like that.
You know how to ride one of these? Come on!
This will really be, for the most part, for big equipment buffs. It's like a stage setting piece. I honestly think this would do fantastic as a coffee table book in the waiting areas you have of adventure centres across the UK. I genuinely think that would be a beautiful place to do it. So if that's applicable to you, then consider it. Well, you know, freelancers who want to go and talk and pitch to schools to be like, yeah, I can totally talk to them about this, and here, look at the wonderful environments your students will be in. Look at me, business coaching. I just say how to get money online, learn how to get money online, so you can use this book and then you can help me make money, and then you can make money back by going and using it as a tool to aid your sense of professionalism when you go and pitch to places that you want to do little micro courses and gain your own students from, because I know that quite a lot of adventure instructors are freelancers, so their own little business too. Right, okay. So, comprising of photographs of a variety of paddle water sports equipment. I always worry about writing water sports because, you know, for adult reasons. Like, is water sports in that context one or two separate? I don't really know. I feel like that's where the term paddle sports was really invented, so there was less confusion. But then there's a lot of motorized water sports as well, so... Don't mind me, mine's just being filthy. Oh, my coffee's still going watery. Ugh. Still like my little whale mixer. It's a little on theme, isn't it? Didn't get it for that reason, but it's cute. Honestly, I feel like having my LED panel there might actually be better than where I originally had it. It makes me look more diffused, so it's not got like as harsh shadows, so it's a little less dynamic. But I didn't used to have that boom on there, now I have it there to hold the camera. I used to have it on the little shelf there, but that might honestly be better. Ah, we'll think about it. Again, cast your votes. Right, so. Comprising of photographs of a variety of paddle sports equipment, such as like kayaks, paddle boards, SUP paddleboards, because they're called stand-up paddleboards. But saying SUP paddleboards is like saying SEO optimization, because it's search engine optimization. It's like ATM. Oh god, I don't know what ATM stands for. Wait, what does ATM stand for? That's an American thing as well, isn't it? Automated teller machine. So it's saying ATM machine is like automated teller machine. So, you know, well, a SUP paddleboard. Rope, dinghies. What else we got? Speedboats, etc. Also featuring beautiful nature landscapes. Across the how do you say this? Beautiful nature landscapes. Beautiful outdoor nature landscapes throughout the year. Feeling a bit keyword stuffy right now, but people aren't going to care that much. They're going to look at the pictures and decide if they think they're pretty or not, essentially. This is just to get people on the page. Ideal for adventure, what enthusiasts, paddle sport instructors, athletes, photography students, coffee table reading, gifts for nature lovers. I think that will do, you know? I think that will do. I'm gonna save that. Publishing rights. Yes, I own all the necessary publishing rights. This is not a public domain work. What is a public domain work though? So it means it's available to all people in the public to use. So basically don't say something's a public domain work unless you want everyone to be able to use it. No, there are no sexually explicit images in the title, although am I going to get flagged for sports now? I wonder. Optional reading age. It's a picture book. Anyone can use it. Anyone at all. Look, it's pretty. I would argue you don't need to be able to read the first page. Primary marketplace, UK. Up to 3 categories that my book can be used in. So, we got... I feel like we should have one focused on nature, one focused on sport, and one focused on photography, but I feel like that's not going to work out this way, so let's see what our options are. Well, there's photography. Conservation, restoration, contemporary art, I would say. Nope, no subcategory for me. What if I... subcategory, there you go. Photography. Okay. Sports, definitely. Choose another. Let's try it again. Art and photography. Photography and video. So we've done sports. Now we want probably nature somewhere. Not area, not astro, not celebrity. Collection together. Digital photography. Bit broad. No, I'll put digital photography in. Okay. Oh wait, can I another subcategory within the subcategory? Nature and wildlife. There it is.
Been a long day and don't know what to eat. Get London's top
there's
restaurants
no underwater.
With Uber Eats, like the
Wish I
Yummy
could
Creek,
though.
now
But landscapes.
Peri
Okay.
Peri,
And another one.
and Cooking Lab,
What else we got?
all one tap away. Uber
What
Eats.
else do we have?
Get anything effortlessly.
Check app for restrictions and availability. Not literally anything. Separate orders are required from each merchant.
Travel and holiday, sports, hobbies and games. Climbing and mountaineering, not quite. Contact sports, self-defense. I feel like I need to do a martial arts book sometime. I'll get some of my mates to do a shoot with me and we'll make a martial arts photo book. Fishing, bird watching, other outdoor pursuits. Not fishing. Other outdoor pursuits. It would classify as other outdoor pursuits. It definitely would. But let's see if I can find more. Water sports. There it is. None of those ones there. Let's just do general water sports. What was that? Boating? Boating! Oh my god, boating. It's so specific. Not boat building there. Oh. But we got canoe and got kayak. We got a whole bunch of them. Subcategory within that, sailing. Oh, sailing might be a very specific one. We do have sailor boats. But I feel like keep it in that subcategory specifically. Don't niche it down too far, else we'll have an issue. Alright, save categories. Nice, nice. I feel like that's real specific. Keywords. Now, I'm going to do a little hack here, a personal hack. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop talking for a couple of seconds and finish my coffee before it gets disgustingly watered down. Let's see. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves, by the way. If you are enjoying yourself and you want to see more live streams like this, then go to my YouTube channel, which you're currently on, click on the subscribe button, and you can see more stuff like this. I think my next one will probably be me scheduling out a bunch of posts on Metrical, so you know how you can do that, set up social media scheduling for your business and multi-posting, cross-posting without tiring yourself out and doing a lot of excessive duplicate work and stuff like that. That'll be my next one. And then if you don't want to go through all the big live stream for such a topic, I'm going to begin editing down my live streams so you can get like the highlights in a short form, not a short form video. There are going to be shorts, but in a shorter long form video that just has all the important bits of information, which is a bit of a tutorial thing. But also there are going to be videos that are only available on my normal YouTube channel video page. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see a bunch of that stuff. Mix it all up and sip. A whole bunch of my, I don't know, my flavour. It's all sunk to the bottom, and because it's a cold drink, it's really hard to mix that in. I'm doing my coffee drinking ASMR. Okay, that's done now. Focus on actual work. Oh, we hit the 2-hour mark. Don't know who this one dedicated viewer is, but I really shout you out. A lot of people have come and gone, but there is one person who I think has been here the whole time, so amazing. Right, okay. Keywords. So, my hack for keywords is I'm going to go onto Chrome, and you will see here that I have a bunch of stock photos. And I've sold, not sold a new one today, but I've sold quite a few adventure sport stock photos. So I'm going to pick a relevant one of a lot of boats, maybe. Land. I'm going to find one. There we go. There's this paddle sport photo. I think I actually put that exact one in the book, so we are going to look at our keywords here. We're going to draw inspiration that people are actually searching for because it got sold, so we know that someone searched for it. So look at these, draw inspiration. I'm going on to a different tab. I should really sort out my hotkeys for this. That little in-betweeny thing where it just blanks out and you see my Spotify is really annoying me. I don't know if that's annoying anyone else, but it's annoying me. Right, I'm going to go on this tab. Nope, I'm going to go back. There's too many windows, I can't keep track. Okay, right. So 7 keywords. Now remember, a keyword, I have a whole video about this if you want to start looking at how to write an SEO blog post. There's a whole section on keywords. So a keyword doesn't necessarily mean one word. It just means a phrase that someone's going to be searching. So it could be a single word. That's called a short head keyword. There could be a whole sentence, really specific stuff. Like literally someone could write, I would like a photo book of water sports with sailing and boat equipment, please. And that's a long tail keyword. If someone actually searches that, then oh my god, genius. But I mean, it's going to happen. And then there's sort of a middle ground, just like 2 or 3 relevant words to make a sentence or a phrase or something. And that's called a body keyword, or mid-level keyword, whatever you want to call it. I'm getting kind of cold again. I made the room so dry earlier when I made my heater on all the time. I'm going to turn the heater on with my Govee Home. No, it's Govee Life Smart app. It's literally sat behind me. I don't think you'll see it, although you might see the light come on, who knows. Because it's got a little nightlight mode. But hopefully it doesn't make the room too hot again. I'm going to put it on medium. I'm going to put it on the timer for half an hour. And I've got a good microphone. I don't think it'll pick up the background noise. But if it starts bugging people, then just comment and let me know. And I will turn it off and I'll freeze. Or, you know, put a jacket on. Which are all the options. So, yeah. Let's put in some keywords. So, let's go. Paddle sports. Photo book. Water sports. Photo book. Never wonder if it should be water sports or water sports, you know, plural, singular. I'm gonna go sports. Sports. Maybe I should do ASMR someday. Who knows? Right. Water sports photo book. Adventure sports photo book. Nature photography. Let me really bold and put Rivington Reservoir. See if anyone searches for that. The kayaking and speedboats. Speedboat, plural. Let's not plural, singular. Let's get a singular in there. Let's get that double I as well. Singular I, singular speedboats, all of the above. Let's see. Publication date and release date are the same, yes. Release my book for sale now, although it won't be right now, it would be when it gets agreed and approved for publishing. Saving. This is the nerve-wracking bit, because this is the bit where could go all wrong. We might have to do some stuff from scratch and do some tweaking. I've done the trial and error with other books, and I'm hoping this will go very smoothly. So, get a free ISBN number. Now, as I mentioned before, you can use a free KDP ISBN to publish your book. The free ISBN can only be used on KDP for distribution to Amazon and its distribution partners. It cannot be used with another publisher or publishing service. Now, that's what I meant by you can only do it in one way. You could get an outside ISBN. The phrasing there implies to me that you would have to pay to get an ISBN somewhere else, and this is like a free publishing. This is a free self-publishing service. So, you know, your choice. But I'd like an ISBN, please. Oh, it took a little thinking there, but yeah. Imprint, independently published. Now, photo books, real specific here. You do get limited choices. The option I'm about to choose is the option I choose for my paper here, so you know, I think this is quite good. Quality photography. These are the print options that I went with. So we're going to use premium color interior. So you can see if you click through, you get all the different mock-ups of what it would look like. We're going premium because all about the photos. Literally the whole point. No point going through all this work and then getting a rubbish photo at the end. So
after she discovered there were great gifts on last minute
going for different sizes. Now that you could do the 8.5 by 11, I'm going to do the, where did it go?
And the dog too. Those puffers are on point.
Oh, the adverts in my head are killing me.
Share the joy with last minute deals at Amazon from the 8th to the 22nd of December.
Wait a minute. 8.5 by 6.5. Where did it go? Wait a minute. There's my land one. 8.5 by 6.5. Just give me a moment to make sure I'm not losing my mind here, because I can't see the dimensions. No, I don't want to order off copies. Go back. Go back, go back, go back. Edit book content. I don't want to edit the book content, but it makes you go on that stupid page. Why is it saying you have an issue? I published the book. It's fine. It's fine. Save and continue. Come on. I just want to check the dimensions of the book that I have made. Okay, now it's fine. Whatever. Okay. I see. 8.25 by 6. Don't mind me. Just having a panic over nothing. 8.25 by 6. There you go. It's like I said earlier. Like, I just added so much margin because I was, like, panicking about having the right dimensions. But just, you know what I mean? Like, you can only see the point of it when you get this far in the process. And personally, I want to create the book and then do the description later, but you can't choose the order in which you do it. You can go back and change other stuff later, but you have to do it in this order the first time. So it's not perfect. But let's see. Manuscript. Upload the manuscript. Oh, don't skip that. Wait. You want it to have bleed because you want it for the whole page. That's fine. I want matte because I don't want to change the look of my image. I don't like the shiny. Upload the manuscript. Here we go. And that's going to take a minute to upload and process so we can draft the mock-up. I really wish it would just close the little pop-up window while it processes this, because it can actually take a hot minute. Oh, there's my little warning that my light's going to die soon because it started changing colour. But you know what? That's fine. Normally it dies about half an hour in, so it was fully charged. It survived longer. We've been streaming for ages. How long have we been streaming for? Let's take a little look here. How long have we been streaming for? Oh, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's pretty solid, to be honest. We'll be wrapping up soon, don't worry. I'm sure you'll survive a little bit longer. I would love to think that someone's walking through this process and making a book with me while I do it. If that actually is the case, please let me know, because that would be really fun. Or if you are, like, after I've actually recorded this and it's, like, back in the settings or whatever. When it's not live, that's the words I'm thinking of. If you're watching this when it's not live and you're walking along and making it with me, then thank you. Thank you for your company. I would love to see the books you made. Link them in the comments, although I don't know if that would get you flagged for spam in some circumstances. Right. Manuscripts uploaded. So you see what I mean about upload the cover if you have the file, or go onto the cover creator. Now I'm going to go onto the cover creator because I've done it before. It's a bit glitchy. Prepare for glitchiness. Right. So, I have an image from my image gallery. It is this image. Is it going to freak out? It's not even letting me click it. So, give it a minute. Are you seriously not gonna let me click it? Are you gonna let me click it? Seriously, laptop, are you gonna let me click it? Are you gonna let me click it? Oh, it's really not, is it? It's really not gonna let me. I'm just gonna close this for a second. Choose this design. Let me click the image. Well, let me click the image. Let me click the image. Why are you so broken? Is the file size too big? It's not highlighting it. Oh, I need to make it a JPEG, don't I? I'm a genius. Right, okay, wait, make it a JPEG. And I need to make it 300 DPI. I remember this. It doesn't like stuff that's less than 300 DPI. Right, so I'm gonna go on a website. Image, DPI, converter. Used it before. Is this the one I used before? This is the one I used before. So I want to make it 300 DPI. And put the cover in. This is convert.town. This file type is not supported or the head file is corrupted. Please use an image program to connect your file to. Oh my god, do I need to export this again as a JPEG from Canva? I think I do. Okay, this is why we kept the laptop to one side, so bear with me for a moment. So, gonna get this out again. Move the book out of the way. Done this like 3 times before. Every time something goes wrong. I wouldn't say anything's gone quite wrong yet. I've just been a stupid person.
Short. So I just had my date with the Bumble guy. So cute. He surprised me with tickets to see this band I love. Then he got us a spot at the front so I could actually see. It was amazing, you know. Like, I really felt good vibes. Oh, and he sent me a "let me know when you get home" message. That makes him really hot. Kindness is sexy. Find it on Bumble.
Nice. So we've got the current page, and in the file type, instead of doing PDF print, we're going to make it a JPEG. Now you know what? We're going to PNG, because you know, why not? PNG. And saving that, we're saving it, we're saving it, we're saving it as cover. Retransfer, send another, uploading it again, there we go, get a link, it's going to be really fast, it's a tiny file. Copy the link, go back to the email, reply to myself on my other email again. Reply, paste the link, send it, let it send. Slow as hell letting it send on this, but I actually have a 10-second delay on this on purpose in case I send something stupid. But no, give it a minute and close the laptop again. And we're over here. We're going to download different WeTransfer. Where are we at? Email. Show me the stuff. God, I really got to unsubscribe from some mailing lists. I have so much spam here that is totally irrelevant. Open the WeTransfer. Download. And download again. Save that. Great. I'm going to close the tab. We can go back on this tab. Oh god, I really am getting static shock on my laptop. I'm going to end this stream soon so the heart will stop. Share Safari. Okay, now we're on the website again. I'm going to convert this to 300 dpi. I'm going to download. And while that's busy downloading, that's the land one. We're going to close that tab for you of any annoying confusion. Where we are. God, I really am getting static shock right now. Right, I'm going to replace the image from my computer. Cover photo. On it. Are we on it? Are we on it? Are we on it? I think we might be. It's really working on that. Also, I love that this is its pre-selected options, like the template, and it's got errors everywhere. Like, you see the little orange triangles up here? Errors everywhere. Oh, and I got the random little white line. That is going to annoy me. I'm not going to lie. Can I crop my own image? Can I? I can't crop it. Okay, let's see. 29.43. What happens if I change this to 30? Oh, maybe that fixed it. Wait. 29.5. No. 29.6? 29.8. Okay. Click away. Oh, I fixed my own issue. Amazing. Honor genius. Oh, this is actually thick enough that it gets its own spine. I don't particularly want the spine, but we'll edit it. There we go. Anton. Got our brand consistency. Get the fonts from our website. And then we want Advent Pro ideally, but I don't believe it does Advent Pro. Does it do Advent Pro? Something that looks a little bit like Advent Pro that's not Advent Pro that I've used on here before. Don't mind me just squinting because I'm blind as fuck sometimes. Don't think it was Orbitron. I think it was something like Orbitron. Maybe it was Orbitron. Hell, going Orbitron. Whatever. Whatever. Although I would really like this to not look so... Ugh. Ugh. Do I want to auto-fit? No. 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 Ugh. Right. Okay. And it's dead again! Let's play the swap the key light game. And that one back there is gone too. Oh, ambience. And we're back. I do feel like I definitely set these to the same color temperature, and I don't believe they're the same color temperature for a moment.
Had my date with the Bumble guy. So cute. He surprised me with tickets to see this band I love. Then he got us a spot at the front so I could actually see. It was amazing, you know. Like,
also, shout out to how long this reality-free streaming playlist is, but also the adverts. I gotta stop the adverts.
Kindness is sexy. Find it on Bumble.
I know it's my own doing, but oh god, stop the adverts. Too small. Too big. That'll do. Whatever. 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 Right. Okay, we changed this for my logo. Logo. Where did you go, logo? Oh, damn. Somehow found the Anderson Center logo. That's uncomfortable. And that one. Oh my god. Why do I have this? Isn't the hard drive? Yeah, this is not on my laptop. I didn't have these. I had an old laptop when it was on. They must be from the hard drive. Right, okay. Prime PNG? I want the bordered one. Where'd the bordered one go? Oh, is it that one? That one. There you go. Now, watch me have to get the tab I closed back so I can copy paste for similar. Right. Bookshelf. Da da da. Do this on Amazon. Okay. Let's see. So we're gonna go look at the back. What did I write on the back this time? Just did my website, and then I copied the description and then tweaked it a little bit. I can do that. Where did the tab go? Okay, right. W. I'm getting that more and more. Obviously, I need to get from this desk and wear off the static shock. Digital. Spell it properly because they don't spell check you on Amazon KDP. And to go on to Anton. No. No. Centralize. Just wish I could drag and drop, man. Like, I understand you go do it in a certain format, but like that is a bit gross, let's be fair. This is why they have the option to upload your entire PDF, but I'm not messing about with that so much, to be honest. And then we copy the description that I wrote. Which I did copy earlier. Did I copy anything else in the interim? Oh, yes, go me. Nice one. Alright, we want to make it the other font I had. Aldrich, that was it. That was the one. Can I change that? No, I think I want to change that, yeah. Where did it go? That's better. That's a little nicer. Not quite Advent Pro, but it's close. Alright, let's give it a final read. Digital.com, a photo book containing over 49 unique images. Separate. That's a typo. That's a typo. Gonna have to go back. Photograph containing over 49 unique images taken across Lower Rivington Reservoir and High Road Reservoir in Harwich, Greater Manchester, England, UK, comprising of photographs of a variety of paddle water sports equipment like kayaks, SUP paddleboards, rope, dinghies, speedboats, etc. Also featuring beautiful outdoor nature landscapes throughout the year. Ideal for adventure enthusiasts, paddle sports instructors, athletes, photography students, coffee table reading, gifts for nature lovers. Wait, and nature lovers. Don't want to be too keyword stuffy that. Produced by professional photographer George Debney of Digital. Okay, so I'm gonna save that. What's the error, bro? What's the error? Fit it to the thing, but I want you to crop it. Do you see my conundrum here? I want you to crop it. Fine. Make it go lower, whatever. 2.6. Let me stop erroring. Nope. 2.4. Nope. What was it before? I swear it was 2.48 before. 2.3, 2.38? I don't know. Just auto-fit it. Reset image position? I don't know what you want. What do you want from me? 28? Are you gonna error no matter what I do? Well, no, now I'm in the DPI too small. Oh my god. Right. 29. The image is only 400. I assure you it was not. Oh, whatever. Preview. See, like, if I was an author who had spent years and years and years and years and years writing a book, because you know that's how most people spend their first book time, like, you have however long you want to write your first one, and then you have to do it real quick for the second, you know, stuff like that. If I really, really cared about it that much, then I would be nitpicking like this, but this is just passive income for a little bit of extra money, for people to get a little bit of extra joy in their lives, have a nice little book to flick through, maybe the kids get inspired because they love sports, it's a nice little present for your kid, all that sort of stuff. It's not my life's work. It's just a little bit of fun, a little bit of excitement. Right. Okay, so before we move on, well, I'm gonna do this first. Say, no, this is not AI generated content. I'm not using AI in any form. I'm gonna launch the previewer. Now, I just spent all this time messing about with that, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna save this section, and then before I finish the last section, I'm gonna go back and fix the typo that I found in the description I copy pasted. Because typos are unacceptable to me. That's the one thing. Like, I'm a bit of a grammar Nazi. I can't help it. Okay, preparing your files. So it's got to prepare them to send the preview. So let's see what time it is. It's almost 9 o'clock. We could probably wrap this up by 9 o'clock. For anyone who's really hanging on there and wants to do the whole thing with me, which would be really fun, and I would appreciate that. But thank you for your time. We've really had some dynamic lighting changes throughout this live stream, haven't we? This is why I need to have everything just plugged in. I'm really glad it worked out earlier. I feel like that might be contributing to why I'm so tired right now, but it makes me feel really upbeat and happy, and I like when I lift heavy stuff. And also I've got my spotter arms and my bench coming soon, so yay. Checking for trim size. Oh, we're nearly there, people. Safari? No, not. Yeah, we are on Safari. Okay. Checking for trim size. Checking your funds. I assure you, my funds are non-existent for the most part. I'm pretty sure it's just made so, you know, when it's like loading it and you know in a video game it's like, oh yeah, we're just buffering the monkeys or whatever. We're just shaving the monkeys. We're getting XY together. Checking my image quality. You check that image quality. You check it. Do you know the thing though? Like, if something is wrong, then normally like places would tell you that and they flag it to you. But they'll let you submit it anyway, is the funny thing. Checking the margins and gutter size. I'm guessing the gutter size is like the little fold in between the pages. I'm not claiming to be an expert on publishing. I just know that I have published books and I have sold books in there. This is what makes me a viable opinion on this subject matter. I have done it, therefore I can tell you about it. Checking your pagination. I have done no pagination. Pagination is something that I use more on websites than I do on books, so there is no pagination for you to check. This tells me that actually you're just processing the file and you want to make your users feel like progress is happening. Maybe you've got AI checking it. It's got nothing to see. Checking for blank pages. It encourages blank pages on me sometimes because it wants to add random pages to make the book binding code. So, you know, whatever. If you say so. God, I am thirsty though. The minute I finish this, I'm getting another drink. I just finished my coffee. I'm thirsty and I need to pee. And I'm tired. But you know what? We are... What? How long are we into this? We're 2.5 hours into this and we have almost made a revenue generating asset in a single night. Oh, it's doing it. So let me see the preview. Let's do this. Okay. That's my cover. That's my ISBN number stuck on it as well. So we just saw that. And then we go into the book that we made. Now remember, because these files are made in CMYK, it's looking a bit grey, it's looking desaturated, it's looking a bit depressing. That's because it's on a screen right now. Now, when it's actually printed in physical terms, it'll look a bit more vibrant, like the book we saw earlier, which is now under a laptop. Like this thing. It will look colourful like this thing. So we must remember that while we look at it here and not judge too much.
That's why I get on board.
From commuting to clubbing. From just £10.60 a week on the tram. That's why I get on board.
With a B any bus and tram ticket, I get 20% cheaper travel. That's why I get on board.
For best value travel around Greater Manchester, download the B Network.
Honest to God, these adverts are getting on my nerves. Right, there we go. Now, what we're checking is for, you see this margin here, this little dotted line, this whatever. If you had written a book, you wanted to make sure that all your text content is inside these dotted lines from your file to avoid any slim possibility of it getting chopped off. You need a little bit. That doesn't inherently mean they're going to cut across these lines. That's not going to happen. But it means anything outside of these lines might get a little smeared, might get a little smudged in the manufacturing process. They've got machines that do prevent that to a degree, but you can't guarantee it. And we're also making sure that there's nothing outside of this hard grid that, you know, highlights the zoom in. No random blank space. That's the main reason any Photobook will get rejected, and is the main reason mine have been rejected in the past, and I have to go back and tweak it and try again, is because they have random white space to fill. Now, if you only have a tiny bit and you want to risk it, then sure, risk it, but that is your risk. That is not something I advise. I say quality control is entirely down to the uploader, and Amazon KDP will see the exact same thing. There we go. So I'm going to approve that because I saw no errors, which means I'm getting a little better at this. Fingers crossed it actually goes through first time. I have had to make only one tweak for my last one. I had to make about 1 million tweaks for the first couple. But I feel like I'm getting down to a reasonable amount now. So it will cost me £3.91 to print this book. So if I want to make any kind of profit, I have to sell it for more than that. That is your bare minimum to sell it. You do have an option to sell books for free on a promotional means. For some people, but I don't do that because the whole point of this is making passive income, so we're going to have to make some money from it. I never want to make the price of my book too high so it's inaccessible, but I want to make it slightly higher than people I believe create a lesser products than me, be that less interesting images, or less number of images, or more restricted type of images in your book, Photobook specifically. And then also I want to make a little bit of profit, but I feel like a couple quid worth of profit is like reasonable per print. You can make it as high as you want. You can make it, you could sell a book for like £2,000 if someone buys it, then yay you, but it's not realistic for the most part, is it? And you might make more than £2,000 if you sell it at a lower price that more people can access. So simple supply and demand. How bad does someone want something? So here we go. Rate £6. This is the royalty rate you'll earn for each sale based on the book's list price. The royalty rate varies based on distribution channel, you know, because, you know, doing stuff in other countries is harder for people who are a bit more out of the way. What do I want it for? So most people are selling their books for like $7.99. The minute you get past 10, people start getting questionable, so let's try $9.99. What's my royalty for $9.99? £2.08. Yeah, because printing prices went up. I did this with my last book. I had a book, it was $8.99, but then my royalty would have gone down because the cost of printing went up. Something to do with like ink shortages or something like that, or machines. I can't remember. It was after COVID. They like made a big announcement, big fuss about it, and everyone had to increase their books, which is why one of my books now is at like £10.41, which is kind of a random number. But I'm gonna up this a little bit. So let's go £10.49. I do hate the little psychology trick of sticking a 9 on it, but you know, I think it actually works. That's not even £2.50 royalty. Alright, £11.99. We'll see. If I don't sell a book for like ever, I'll put a sale on, I'll reduce the price, I'll see what happens, see if it's just about the price, or if it's about the quality of the book and no one can find it. We'll see. I do wish that Amazon KDP gave people more analytics about what's going on, like how many people viewed your book, how many people converted into a buyer, what's your click-through rate, what's your conversion rate. They don't help you with that a lot. Like, let's see. Like, they have reports, but none of their reports are really to do with click-through analytics. It's all to do with like how much did you sell, where did you sell it, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really tell you how to increase it. Community, I'm pretty sure, is like helping other authors and stuff. Yeah. Formatting, all about how to do it better. And then marketing literally is just their on-platform ad system. If you want to make an ad, you want to make it free, you want to make something like that. Personally, I don't engage in that because this is meant to be a passive thing. It relies purely on on-platform SEO and a little bit on my own website, because you can link anything on Amazon KDP as an affiliate product on an e-commerce website. So I have my shop page and I embed all my photo books in there. I do need to embed my land adventure one. I'll probably do it at the same time as this one. As when this gets approved, when I get it on there. They say approval can take up to 72 hours, but I actually have had stuff approved in like 10 hours flat, so might be up tomorrow, who knows. Check www.digital.com/shop. Expanded distribution. Large book distributors can make your title available for other online retailers. Enrollment is subject to availability requirements. Should I click it? No, it's not highlighted for me. Never really paid much attention to that one, but I imagine that it depends if they actually just store copies of your book on stock. If you sell a certain amount over a certain period of time, they will pre-print them in anticipation, but mine's just drop shipped because we've only had a few. Terms and conditions, yes. Don't want any proofs because you have to pay the printing cost. You only have to pay the printing cost on this, but I've got my settings to a point where I trust that it will look how I want it to look. And publish.
You just found out you and your ex listen to each other's top songs.
God, Bumble, will you
Does that
stop
mean
it
you're
for a
back
minute?
on again? Now you can share your top.
There we go. My paperback book has been submitted. Advert, go away. Advert, go away. I want some music. There we go. Okay, so Adventure Paddle Sports photo book has been submitted for the sale price of $11.99 by Dib Dab Digital and me, Georgia Debney of Dib Dab Digital. We are one similar legal entity but two different names. because, you know, trading name, branding, all that sort of stuff. Next, we'll review your book to ensure it meets KDP's guidelines for book details, content, and quality. If it passes our review, it can take up to 72 hours to be available for purchase on Amazon. If it doesn't pass our review, we'll email you. And they actually have got better at giving feedback on what actually needs fixing. Like, if stock photos get rejected, they just go, nah, bye. I would love to know what they do for really long books that, like, require you to physically read. Well, they don't read them. I've already discussed this. They don't read them. They leave your book up to you. They check that it will just print okay. But, you know, that's the self-publication part. They're not quality checking you. They're just making sure it will physically be produced. So you can't put in, like, a claim against them, whatever. During the review process, your book will appear as in review on your bookshelf. You can change your book details, content, and pricing after the review is done, but you may have to resubmit your book to ensure it meets our guidelines. You can't change anything while it's in review, because then they'd be like shifting goalposts, and they don't know if you've like changed something that they wouldn't like in the interim. So yes, closing done, complete. Well done, guys. We have made a photo book together, and I said we'd probably be finished about 9, and here it is, 9 o'clock. So we are on about 2 hours 45 of streaming. I'm exhausted. I need to go charge these little key lights more, obviously. I go need to charge that thing up there. But thank you very much for watching. It has been very enjoyable streaming to you today, and I am exhausted and would like to go to sleep. So subscribe to Dib.Digital's YouTube channel. Go to my website, www.dib.digital.com, as seen below. Next time I stream, it will probably be scheduling a lot of social media content, so you don't want to miss out on stuff that will be exclusive to certain platforms. Yeah, have a good night. Goodbye. And now I have learned that I need to actually leave it for a little bit longer than I actually want, because it will cut off randomly at the end. So I think now is a good time to cut it off. Thank you.